All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another lovely week here at Unstoppable. It is the
Yep.
grand finals between Dorado Gaming Iota versus KEKW'D. I'm not going to do it.
W
KP
and
the
Poggaroo'd the
fourth.
fourth.
KP the fourth. As always, I'm joined by my best friends in the entire world, DBZ Freak and Darter Wolf. How about that 3-0 against T1? Of T1. Because last week I
Listen.
said they would do it. You guys said I was horseshit.
Yeah, I said you were
ended up getting
coping
the
and they did
skin
it
out
anyways. You
of
know what?
it,
Whatever. Yeah, guess I'm wrong. Guess I'm coping.
And I gifted him his skin. It ended up being Surfer Singed.
I actually am really happy about that because the Singe skins I have are Garbo, and at least this one's going to be a lot more pleasant to look at.
Fair enough. But man, finals. We're finally here. Like,
Yeah.
2 seconds, boys. You guys go ahead. I gotta go wish my babies a good night.
okay,
Yeah, go do your thing.
While he does that, man, just we're here at the finals, and is he going in? Okay, Twitch chat, listen up. So today is Hyper's birthday. What we are going to do when he comes back is we are going to wish him a happy birthday. Okay, just when he gets back, I'll signal the cue. I'll say something stupid, and I'll just be like, "Hey, Twitch chat, say happy birthday to Hyper." But anyways, so Dorado Gaming, Iota, KEKW'D, Poggaroo'd the fourth, both first seeds coming out of their respected brackets, and it's just kind of insane just how these two teams just played very well. You said KEKW'D, Poggaroo'd only dropped 5 games, but they never lost a series.
4. Yeah, they've lost 4 games, never lost a series. Dorado Gaming have lost 1 game, all split, never lost a series. So both teams looking really strong coming into it. Dorado Gaming haven't dropped a game in the playoffs yet. They've 3-0'd both their series and camp before. 3-0'd in quarterfinals, and then we saw them last week 3-1 in semis. So both of these teams looking strong coming into this, but
yeah. Welcome back, Hyper. Welcome back, Hyper.
Yes, hello.
And,
Hello. What's up?
I was gonna say, if you got anything specific you want to say right now before we kind of just do our thing.
No, I mean you guys were talking about the teams and how they hadn't dropped a split. I wanted to take the chance to call out some statistics on all of these players. So specifically for Dorado Gaming, Massive is first in the KDA department, second in damage per minute, and third in damage percentage.
That's wild, actually.
That's crazy. K-Peps is first in KDA. Tough Daddy, probably the best mid laner we have in Unstoppable this split. First in KDA, second in CS per minute, first in average vision score, first in vision score per minute, first in vision score percentage, first in gold per minute, and solo kills per game. That is
that's nuts.
Disgusting. That is disgusting.
Speaking of disgusting, it's this dude Hyper's birthday, everybody.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday's in the chat. Let's go. Happy birthday, bud.
I love all of you. You guys are awesome. And then, unfortunately, Dorado's going to be not playing with Corey JJ tonight. They're going to be subbing in Jason Crypt. So since he doesn't have a lot of games, he doesn't have his stats aren't padded like the rest of the players. Yeah. So he's unfortunately has nothing but 17s, third in KDA for supports and also solo kills per game.
Oh, interesting. But we're going to go ahead and cut you off as drafts has just now started.
All right.
Other side, you go ahead and enjoy once again. Happy birthday and Darter. So we are on a new patch.
On a new patch. Yeah.
Not that from what I was reading, it looks like it's terribly impactful. It looks like the only thing it really did was mess with Senatom Kench mainly.
Yeah, that was
and
the
then
big one.
There was like a few little things here and there. I don't think the Cassante nerfs are really a nerf per se.
They aren't. That champ is still the most broken champion in the entire game. There's actually no answer to it whatsoever. Even the normal counters, even there was a series that one of the teams in the org I'm a part of were playing where Fiora's 5-0 up against a Cassante still can't 1v1 him even with Hullbreaker. It just doesn't matter. KP4 should ban Ziggs or Poppy here. Yeah, I mean, all these bans make a lot of sense. But yeah, the patch really only hits Senatom Kench. I believe Cassante is going to get another round of nerfs after this, the next patch coming up, which I don't know why they wouldn't just nerf him all at once, but whatever. What I'm more surprised at is how Vayne is still dodging nerfs since we have an Ivern first pick.
Ivern first pick. Okay, that's interesting. That champion has really good in terms of like supportive jungling is what I will say. Really good at like shielding, insta lock on Xayah, which makes sense. Xayah Rakan to be exact, so really powerful bot lane coming in for KMP4. Dorado have an option here. They can pick I was gonna say the other strong ADC that's still in the game because Kai'Sa nor Xayah have received nerfs at all since they've been literally like at least like 80-90% pick rate throughout the entirety of Worlds up till this point. So that's not much of a surprise if they end up going with that route.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I would do. Another answer, yeah, they could go Ashe Renata or something of that nature. They could go Ashe Melio as well. The big thing with Xayah, she got nerfed like 6 or 7 patches ago at this point.
Right.
All of her laning stats got hit. They will go Nautilus instead just to counter the Rakan, so you get both counter picks in both of these bot lanes, so it's pretty good for them. And they should get early push as well. Ashe has more pressure on Wave into Xayah, but Briar will be picked into Ivern. I don't know if I like this a whole lot. There's a lot of things that Dorado Gaming have already to lock down this Briar and deal a lot of damage to. Just Briar into Ashe in general is not very fun. The only ADC aside from Vayne that can just kite her out into infinitum because Briar can never catch up to those two champs. So I'm not a huge fan of this, but they might lock it in anyways, as they don't really have anything else covered, and they will.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
So I'm expecting target bans probably for the mid lane here and top, mid and top. I will say probably one of each, if unless they're feeling that they need to ban both mid laners. As we mentioned before, so I believe it is tough that it was their mid laner the whole time, right?
Yes,
I think so. Okay, so he is a really consistent mid laner coming into this. The Syndra ban, not much of a surprise. Maybe potentially the Orianna pick ends up happening unless they ban that as well. That's kind of just been like most of mid lane for like the past like few patches now. It's just Syndra Orianna with the sprinkling of Azir here and there, and then you get Sylas if the game's looking really good.
Sometimes Nico, sometimes Ahri.
Thinking about it right now. This is a Sylas angle, sort of. The Malphite ban kind of hints that maybe
Dorado Gaming kind of won it, which makes it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. I honestly don't like Sylas too much in this game just because KMP would have to blind it, and blind Sylas is super hard. Especially since there's a lot of good champs that are good in Sylas still open. They will have the Aurelia ban, which makes a little bit of sense. I'm curious to see what their angle is here in mid lane. I don't think that they will ban Orianna, so I'm curious to see if they go with Nico. I don't like blind Sylas, but I can.
The way I see it in my head is for the Ashe Arrow and then all assault so far. The Malphite ban kind of from Dorado kind of implies that they might want it too. Xerath being a very, I would say, a safe pick because that kind of like extends like the range of how much you have to fight. And actually, they're gonna maybe flip to the Ryze.
I like that a little better.
I do too. Ryze is a champion that we haven't seen terribly often, but like when that champion gets going and they blind the Sylas, never mind. Okay.
I mean, Sylas is probably the next best mid laner on the patch, next to like Syndra, Orianna. Kassadin also is really strong. My only concern is there's a really good Talia angle here, or like Annie if they want to. They can go like Malzahar as well. They could also go Galio, something like that. I think Galio's kind of weak though. I do think Talia is pretty strong for them for Dorado right now. If they want to go that route.
You can see them thinking really hard about this. I do think that Malphite ban.
Ahri, okay,
Ahri. I actually do think that Malphite ban was kind of thinking like we're gonna take Sylas potentially. As you see that Dorado kind of thought about it for a little bit there.
Yeah.
They go ahead and go with the Ahri, and now they can pick their top laner here as well. So this does leave the counter pick for KMP's top laner. We did mention that Master was really good at like split pushers. And it's kind of the style that they play, and that's the reason they won their series that we casted a couple weeks ago. So whether they decide to like kind of keep that style going or kind of change it a little bit, and it looks like they're gonna go with the Fiora. I do like the Fiora, and if they want to answer with the Camille, I think that's okay too. Especially because really hard skill matchup. But I think in this case, actually, you could go Jax or Darius.
I mean, it is Camille favored technically, the Camille into Fiora matchup. If the Fiora is really good though, it's kind of hard. I don't like this Shen pick.
Interesting.
Shen Briar is a good combo, but Shen is weak in itself and doesn't really do that well into Fiora. I think like honestly, like Tryndamere or Camille is probably their best. They could go pockets up as well, but they will lock in the Shen anyways.
They do need a front line though. They're kind of squishy.
Yeah, which is why I like I thought they would go Camille or Fiora on this pick because it makes frontline really hard to draft. I think really their best option was going like Passante or something like that.
Yeah. That actually would be kind of funny. But okay, well, interesting first draft coming out so far. We're gonna go ahead and bring Hyper back, kind of get his thoughts on what he sees in this draft and what he likes and doesn't like. But go ahead, buddy. What you got?
So just to caveat, Grant has been putting some games in on the Briar, so I'm not totally like upset about. Yeah, that's the downfall. That's where I was gonna get at. I mean, I'm not mad at the pick at all.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I just don't think it's gonna work too well in the comp the way that they're thinking it is. Especially you're looking at Fiora and Ari and Ivern. These champs are not Ivern specifically, but Fiora and Ari really high mobile. But Ivern itself provides a lot of peel and a lot of protection to his team. They might not have the beef the way that KMP4 has through the Rakan, the Silas, and the Shen, but they have a lot of that sustained through the Ivern. And I just don't think Briar is going to be the pick to like fit what they're lacking. And at the moment, it's kind of like backline access. They don't really have a lot of backline access, nor do they have a lot of peel for Arcadius and Xayah. Because once Ari and Fiora get over to Arcadius, it's going to be really hard for them to stop whoever decides to get there. Because they got to worry about other things. And it's just inertly hard to get in front, like to dive Ashe just because of the way the champ works.
I think, like, honestly, they probably, I mean, Jarvan's bad and so is Zac. So
yeah,
like
unfortunately,
two of your good answers into Ivern that you can use for backline access. I think they probably should have gone Vi, even though it's not amazing into Ivern, and at least gives you something to get on top of Ashe. Because Briar really doesn't solve that problem of backline access because she's very much I have to run through you rather than I can get through you, and you can't really flank very well on Briar against champions like Ivern and Ashe and Ari, like you mentioned.
Your ultimate, but if you're picking an angle to throw your ultimate on a flank, I don't think you're positioning correctly.
Like that's really the only way you can use her ult in this game is you have to just try and find a flank and try to hit Ashe with your ultimate because that's the only way you can get onto her. And with Shen ultimate on top of that, that does give you an angle to kill this Ashe with Rakan follow-up. So they do have a lot of dive threat, especially with Silas as well. But the only problem is you're playing this comp trying to dive with Briar, which is why they picked the Shen on R5, with a Xayah, which doesn't really want to go forwards. They want to go backwards. So because Xayah doesn't do very well in a dive comp, champion does way better in a kite back or just front to back style composition, so you can actually use your feathers. If they went like Kai'Sa Rakan on 1-2, it's much better because then Kai'Sa can actually follow up with Briar, and you can actually use Kai'Sa as your carrier for Shen, not just Briar, so you have more angles to find plays. Whereas this Xayah makes it a little bit hard, especially since you're going to lose push and lose prio in this lane against Ashe Nautilus. And you mentioned it as well, like these solo lanes are so mobile, Briar's going to have a hard time ganking. With like you can gank mid because Silas does have setup, but if Ari has ult or flash, you kind of can't kill her. So they really have to try and blow flash early and try to get Ari, try to kill her pre-6. Otherwise, it'll be tough from there to try and kill her.
I have a hypothetical then. So instead of Briar, would you have preferred Nocturne in this instance?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way you were describing it as like, I guess like it sounds like this would be more of a Nocturne angle than a Briar angle then. But that actually, because we know the old classic hyper missile Nocturne Shen combo. It's kind of the same thing with the Briar, but
it's harder to execute.
I digress. So as we're wrapping up draft and getting ready to go into spec delay in a little bit, can we actually throw it to predictions real quick and like where we are? So we are split. Actually, never mind. Meilu is 3-2. She's us.
I guess I'm the only one that's
You're the only one, yeah.
Okay, so Meilu predicted a 3-2 for Dorado. She isn't feeling well, so she is not going to kind of give her reasoning, but she told us to tell you guys it's purely on vibes, so nothing has changed.
Vibes.
All it is. Darter with the spicy 3-0.
Yep.
Come.
Yeah. I initially had it as a 3-1, but I was like, no, that's a baby safe prediction. I need to go all in. I've predicted 3-0s all throughout playoffs, so I have to continue with it. And I do think, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, Dorado has only dropped one game, all split. So I'd be honestly, and with how strong they've been looking, I think they can definitely pull through. But that's nothing to play down on KMP4. I did have it as a 3-1, but I just wanted to predict 3-0 instead.
Nice. And then Hyper, you're a 3-2?
No, you first since I'm the outcast.
So my reasoning for the 3-2 is because obviously both these teams are coming in as the #1 seeds. KNP has only dropped games, like I think they were close games that they dropped. I don't know if they've ever gotten completely washed before.
Yeah, they were close. Yeah,
I would have to go back and pull them up.
Okay, but yeah, Darter said that they weren't. None of them were a wash.
From what I remember, they were close. Yeah,
they've all been close. But the only reason why I wanted to kind of stick with the 3-2 is because I think it could still go either way. It's just statistically, Dorado is better, just all across the board.
Yeah.
So it could potentially be a 3-0, 3-1, but I really, for the sake of it being the finals, I want it to be a 3-2.
Yeah.
I mean, for me specifically, as much as Dorado, this version of Dorado, Iota in specific, like they've been playing kind of out their minds with not even just like their individual styles of play, but from their macro as a whole. You know, we see it with Massive, you know, choosing that, okay, you guys are all going to fight at the Drake. I'm just going to destroy your entire base. Either that or they just straight up win 5v5s. But watching KMP4 last week and seeing their progression from week 1 to now,
especially Arcadius,
Grant as well being a really good facilitator for his team, Keno doing amazing things in the mid lane. Like KMP4 has, I feel like, the better all around team focused drive, whereas Dorado is that, like, you know, five threat comp. One of us will carry.
I love these style comps.
One of us will carry, hands down. We all have the mechanics. We all have the macro to do it. But I just think KMP4's got the team oriented mindset. And if they can answer the split push macro, KMP4 has a chance to win.
Now, quick question before we decide to kind of go to break. Who's keeping track of who has what for predictions, like in terms of points?
God, I was, and then I gave up.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
From what I've recalled, I've been half right most of the time, but never completely right. And DBC, you've either been completely right or completely wrong. And then Hyper's always been like half right or completely wrong.
Yeah,
and then Meilu's been more correct than any of us.
I've gotten 2 completely rights.
Yeah,
but usually they're only half rights.
Half right or wrong. Yeah, because you always predict upsets. Is what it is.
I love an underdog story. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Z does the same thing on the LCS, so I mean, so it's not surprising. But that'll do it for us. When we come back, it will be game 1 of our best of 5 between Dorado Gaming Iota and KEKW'D Poggaroo'd the 4th. We'll see you guys on the other side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rift for the final time of the series. I wish I could speak, honestly, but it is going to be Dorado Gaming Iota versus KNP the Fourth. And if I can have your attention, everyone in the chat, everybody agreed to a level 1 handshake here in the mid lane as a kind of a homage to the service members, being today is Veterans Day, so more like a moment of silence. So moment of silence, if you would.
Also, you didn't see it, Hyper, but they were saying happy birthday to you in all chat.
I saw that. But there you go. There is our gentleman's handshake. Everybody agreed to it. That is for Veterans Day, and I really appreciate everybody doing that for me. And now we are on the Rift. Let's get into game number 1.
Cool. Alrighty. So looks like we're starting with a 5-ish. I'll say ish point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like where is everybody? So it looks like Ash and Nautilus are gonna kind of get a little bit of a
reset for sweeper. That's fine.
Ooh, did she get the ward?
Nice auto Q. Yeah.
GG, well played. That's it. We're done. Stream's over.
It's like Zeri. Can't ward in front of a Zeri. Always kills the ward. Same thing with Fiora. You can auto Q the ward, and then it doesn't work.
Nice.
Plus 30 gold, easy.
Yeah, the game's over, man. That's what I'm saying.
Might as well FF now.
I agree. Just end the game right this moment. So Ivern is gonna start on his top side, kind of get all of that set up. Looks like his Grok isn't up. Did he smite it?
No, just it spawns.
No, it spawns. Okay, I was about to say like what?
A little bit later, yeah.
Oof, Lord, goes to show what I've been paying attention to recently. Absolutely nothing, I guess.
Not jungle at all.
Yeah, I have not played jungle at all this year, like once.
Yeah.
So that's
but,
just
we forgot to go over KNP stats on the players. So Holy Spartan doesn't have anything, but Grant actually is 3rd in KDA and 2nd in damage.
Okay.
Nice level 2. I mean, it was just a level 2 engage. I do like how Massive took this level 2 and he's pushing his lead. Gets a nice little slow onto Holy Spartan, a nice trade to get a little extra health back, but wow.
I mean, that's just the Fiora matchup. Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things that she thrives in, especially in like Fiora V-Tank matchups. She just kind of wins because that true damage she can proc off of her vitals, plus the not the refund to say, but the extra cooldown reduction on the Q itself. It just makes the matchup that much more harder, so this will be unfun for Holy Spartan for a little while. I imagine he will go the Bramble Vest rush, kind of cut some of that healing that she can off of that. Oh, okay, that was a...
Yo, Vexrex, with the Grand Entrance and then with the pullback, kind of quick with those hands, not gonna lie.
Yeah, Zyra Khan is so OP for that, because you get extended range on your dash, so you can instantly E-buffer your W because you have the range to do so if you max range W, whereas with other DCs you don't, it's a little bit shorter.
Yep.
So you can just like WE back and just be annoying.
Oh, we got an Ivern in the area, and they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know he's there, but if he decides to round that corner, they will spot him on that ward.
Good thing the Guardian proc to kind of mitigate some of that damage. So we'll get the reset off. Looks like we'll finish those boots and the Dark Seal. Oh my goodness, I'm trading here in the mid lane. That Dark Seal gonna be bought for the Ivern. A little bit of extra damage on him since Ivern doesn't really build any. Just kind of, I think he'll rush. Oh, unfortunately missed on, but the ball blocked the autos there. But I do believe, if I remember correctly, that Ivern mostly. Oh.
Grant coming in, gets a really nice stun, but a charm to follow through, pushes him back. I like it. Just being annoying in the mid lane.
Okay, that will be the top scuttle going over, because I do Ivern has flush, if he just smited it just now.
Yeah, Grant doesn't have smite either, so...
Okay, so we'll just back off here, and kinda, looks like something topside here.
Yeah. Trying to get that stun. He does get the root, but, you know...
He's under tower.
Briar right there. Even if something did happen.
So good call by them to call that play off. A little bit of a quiet early game, I will say, compared to what we've seen so far this year. Junglers have met each other a little bit and just kind of farming it out, trading all across the lanes. The closest we got to something going on was that top lane exchange that happened earlier. But man, these two teams are doing actually a little differently than what I thought they would. I kind of expected a little more chaos, but that's on me, I guess, for being an uncultured swine. For oh wait, hold on, something lands.
Dredge line's gonna hit, but I like what Vexrax digs, dived in to make sure Jason doesn't have any of the follow-up. They don't find the root with that blade call, but just think they do. I love how that interaction works, but Jason is just gonna try to run down Vexrax auto. Really good trade coming out from Dorado.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Vexrax, gets hit by hook though.
Ignite. Oh, he's dead.
And the first blood going right over to the Nautilus with that ignite.
Great of flashes as well for both ADs. So now Arcadius doesn't have flash for the next trade, but now that it's Jason's script, I think it matters a little bit more for him because he doesn't have cleanse. So Vexrax hits 6. If Gran Torino is down in the vicinity, he can look to potentially punish that. But same goes for K-Peps. They can also look to punish Arcadius' flash before he hits level 6. So it's a little bit of a window here in bot lane for some plays. But as you were talking about the top lane matchup, Shen gets a little bit of an easier time after level 3. Just pre-level 3, it's really annoying for him. But because of that, he's going to be down at CS for quite a while. But it won't be too much, so it's not that bad. Kind of picks himself up, but not too much. But this Drake should, if I am correct, go over to Dorado because they will have mid push and bot push for the majority of the game. I'd be surprised if it doesn't go over to them, unless they just don't give it over at all. But 17 looking in the mid lane, potentially, but things come out because it is warded.
Yeah, so he's aware. He's under tower anyway, so not really expecting anything spicy in terms of a dive. Immediately, we have a little bit of a cheeky play from the Nautilus. Actually, he gets spot on that ward, so he will have to come back around. Got some pings coming out from the Briar. Gonna head over bot side. They're gonna kind of take some vision, take some space. I think that that will kind of not exactly mitigate what you were mentioning, but kind of delay the dragon take. Actually, looks like Grant is starting it. Oh yeah, Grant has started the.
I mean, they got the push in the bot lane. Unfortunately, they're not gonna really have really good mid push with the Silas into the Ahri. Yeah. But I mean, if they get the bot cryo, might as well.
Iron's top side, so
I mean, in theory, they have the numbers advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. So a free Ocean Drake that ends up going over. Early Ocean Drake at that, which I will argue is very, very good because that healing is just very nice for the early game. Next Drake will be an Infernal, so I forgot who predicted Infernal.
It was not me.
What a charm. I predicted Infernal.
Yeah, I'm surprised K-Peps went to his top camps immediately there and didn't try to push for that dragon because they do have pressure on mid. So they could have easily contested that potentially, but just bot push is too strong. Not the greatest base timer from Jason there, so they will end up giving that one over. But Herald will spawn in 45 seconds. It should go over to Dorado.
Oh, here we go. Wait, Grant's caught here.
And they are going to have an invade, a two-man invade, a nice charm root as well. And unfortunately, they can't do anything about it. Meanwhile, back at the bot lane, a really nice blade collar coming out from Arcadius. And that's all they're going to be able to get at Vexrax hitting the grand entrance with that blade collar follow-up is just too good.
Mid lane Cryo coming in clutch there for K-Peps. I mean, that's just kind of what happens in a range versus melee matchup. And Ahri at level 7 can pretty much clear the back wave of minions with her Q. I'm really hoping she has 4 points of the Q right now. Okay, yeah, she does. Okay, cool. Yeah, she does. So that is a kill that went over. It looks like no mana here. Hold on a second.
Ano getting really, really aggressive right there. Realizing Tuff doesn't have the mana to do it. He uses the first charge of that Spirit Rush, but does he get 3 at minimum 3 charges?
Yeah.
Rift Herald started up here.
Herald, they can because Tuff does not have TP, but Gran Torino is still not level 6 yet.
It's not here.
But the arrow's gonna find the Silas. 2 stuns coming out, and Keno is just gonna keep going, diving on in. A flash forward from that Shen gets a really nice taunt. K-Peps really low on health, misses the root.
They can't kill him.
But a really nice flash and a chain to pick up that kill. Now it's only massive. The Dredge line coming in from the south side of that river. Here comes 17, gets a nice ultimate onto the jungler, and they pick off the jungler, and another kill going over the support.
You know my thoughts about supports getting a bounty, so I won't repeat it.
Ignite is good, but yeah.
Yeah, another Ignite taking kill. Ignite kill.
The Ignite had to be used there because Briar has so much sustain even this early on. You just have to, otherwise she'll just heal up off of Herald and you'll be able to get turned on by Tenno and Holy Spartan. Yeah. The big thing from that play though is no flashes in any of these topside members anymore, but Tenno nearly hits the chains on the topside, but a lot of damage goes back over.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. If he hits those chains, I think he dies.
I think so too.
I don't know if he dies, but it's really close. He doesn't have flash. That doesn't have Spirit.
Massive is going to fight Holy Spartan in this massive wave, but here comes K-Peps with the Daisy, finds the root, and a dash forward, knows he's gone, and Fiora picks up the kill.
Over the Fiora, that's really good, especially if you're setting up that split push that we mentioned that Dorado likes to do. I assume this will be a Trinity Force on the Fiora, just based off what I'm seeing right now at the moment. Probably go Hullbreaker after that to kind of ignore everybody and just kind of force Shen to kind of be there the whole time. Because granted, yes, Shen ult will be up when that starts to kind of happen. It's just you don't want to leave her alone too long, and like Shen can kind of deal with split pushes, but just not really well. It just depends on the champion, but not against Fiora. It does not go well against Fiora.
Yeah, it's just the problem of the champion identity, right? The Fiora loves to just stay in a side lane and ignore everybody and push, but Shen wants to be that second support for his team. And if he doesn't ever have TP up and ults into a fight, Fiora is almost guaranteed to get something free on the other side of the map. So they really need to get an advantage somewhere else with these Shen ults. Otherwise, with this Fiora getting so far ahead just off the bridge of how Shen plays, it will pose a massive threat in side lane that almost Tenno might have to end up matching.
Yeah, and one of those things too that okay, never mind. I thought the chains were gonna hit there. Oh, there's the Trinity Force. That's the first mythic done in the game in about 10 minutes 55 seconds to be exact. So having that mythic done is huge, a huge spike of damage to the Fiora as well. So she's gonna be feeling very good about where she is. Massive in a really strong position. Also up 20 CS. That's about 900 gold. Ivern is here.
Ooh, what a great entrance, but the Bread line is gonna find Arcadius there on the back line. Ivern did show up through the fight. Shen's ult is up, so if he wants to jump in here, he definitely can. But meanwhile, there in the mid lane, Tenno and Tough Daddy just duking it out. I love to see it.
Briar
He's gonna find Jason. Briar, the unstoppable force, with a really nice red line to stop him from going any further. Play caller at a time. They get a shutdown on to that support, but Jason ends up picking up Brent on the back end. It is now a 3v3. Jason's trying to run down Vector F. Tough Daddy flashes forward. And pull him back from the Zaya. Picks up Tough Daddy. And here comes Tenno. He finds his way into the river. He's going to 1v1 Cave. Throws the Ash Arrow in reverse. No! Look past double kill. Tenno's popping off.
Yeah, Jason flashed a bit too early. He flashed before he saw the Briar ult, so ends up flashing not far enough or not in the right direction entirely. Gets hit by it, which is, and we saw why they picked Briar Shen. That's exactly what the combo is meant to do. Hit Briar ult on someone, Shen ult, it becomes a 4v2, 4v3 instantly. Tenno roams down as well. Massive doesn't have TPs, so at worst here it's a 4v5, which it ends up being, and traded 3 for 1 there, which is massive for them because they will get the second Drake off the map. And they have 2 really good individual Drakes here, and we'll see what the solo is in about 2 seconds.
Should be. It is a mountain. Wait, I was right.
You're right. Yes, you are.
Wait. Correct. Wait, no. That means you're gonna predict mountain next game.
I will. Yeah.
But we didn't say it on online, but we did. I called Infernal, Freak called Mountain, and Jarvis called Hex Tech.
Yep.
So there's that.
So I think this is actually a good soul for KNB.
It's very good for them, yeah.
It's just that kind of mitigates some of that Fiora annoyance, especially in the side lane for the Shen. Let's say hypothetically they do end up getting it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know the tower was that low.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing it does for them is it makes this pick potential that Dorado's comp is entirely designed around it completely thrown out the window if they do get this soul on the line. Just because you're just that tanky, you're that tanky enough to where Ahri Ashe can't one-shot you with that ult charm combo, especially when you have Ivern Nautilus. You can get chain CC, but you might necessarily not die fast enough until your team gets there to match. But Ahri will roam into the top lane.
Yeah,
so will K-Peps as well.
Hard. I mean, he's gonna try to stick it out, but that tower's probably gonna fall. He finds the ton on a massive. Now he's looking in full retreat. The Grand Challenge pops down on the Holy Spartan. That's 2 down, but here comes Briar over the top of the wall, and she comes in with a 4.
Oh, the shield!
Re-engage, but a double kill going over Fiora now. Kenna was all by himself with a Spirit Rush in pocket and can't do anything with it.
I argue that if Shen starts leaving earlier, I think that ends up being a 2 for 1 at the end of that whole thing. But
I don't even know.
It's hard to tell. It's just, I mean, he just kind of took so much damage initially because Holy Spartan decided to not back off there. So it's just weird hypotheticals that it's like, man, it just depends on what could have happened in that instance. But unfortunately, now this Fiora is 3-0, feeling really good. Tower in the top lane.
Right there.
Oh. 2,000 gold almost. That's kind of nuts. Yeah. All right.
But that's really the only advantage across the lanes that I saw.
Yeah, I think it matters so much though, because the Fiora is the most spent member in the entire game, and as much as Tenno is 3-0, he's still behind Tough Daddy by like 700 gold. So he's not he doesn't actually have a lead, and Grant is down 1k as well. The only lead they have in any of these lanes is Arcadius, who's 400 gold up on Jason in this bot lane, and Zaya by herself really has a tough time fighting against Ivor Nautilus without that Featherstorm.
Not only that, just the shield on Ivern is just exceptionally wow. Just like the whole tower herself.
Yep.
All right.
I love Fiora. Great champ.
Just anyways, the Ivern shield is also like gonna be like not like hit or miss, but it's gonna be the clutch factor in some of these fights, I will say.
Yeah. Can you parry Briar ult?
That's a good question.
Probably. You can parry everything else.
I think so, right? But like, I don't know if it actually like works how it should. You know?
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we might see, yeah, but that came into my mind. I've never seen Briar against Fiora in game, so I don't actually know if you can. I would assume you can.
I mean, there's a very also micro timing you can do to parry Ignite, from what I've discovered.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
It's extremely
it's so hard. Yeah.
Like, I've seen it done only one time, and I wanted to throw up when I saw it. It's almost like,
it's so aggressive.
Anyway, so second Herald now spawning on the map. Looks like
Should
massive.
Be Dorado's. Because of the bubble pressure.
Yeah.
Aggressive needs to get on wave though, because he doesn't really have any real threat in this bot lane at the moment because of the wave. So they could match this 4v4, but it looks like they're gonna put more pressure on this mid trio. So this Herald should go over to Dorado very easily, and massive.
Yeah, Grant's backing.
Not threatened at all.
I can't imagine it wouldn't be. I mean, Shen has just a Sunfire at the moment.
Rotating.
Oh, they see them too.
Who's over-rotating?
Yeah. Well, because Arcadius and Vexrax started moving down because Grant was spacing, so then they just dropped the mid-prod that they were trying to get because wave is now neutral again. And they end up just getting nothing for that play, so they lose Ryo mid, and then they lost Herald, so now they can use Herald on side lane with Fiora to get a tier 2 tower for this Drake spawn in 35 seconds, where I would imagine this Herald would go, is on the side lane with Fiora. Should be cross map, which is why she's going top lane, but KEKW'D is in bot lane now, so we kind of will have trouble using this Herald. Just because it is a tight time.
I mean, KP did get the mid push so that they can get that early vision in the river right there. So, I mean, I wouldn't call it a total waste.
I mean, but they don't have first move anymore because now their vision has been swept, except for that one in that long brush there. They don't have any vision actually in river.
And
they're getting now again.
And they have a ward kind of at the top too. So if Fiora hypothetically wanted to, she could TP to this ward that's above them in near the blue area. But she's gonna looks like stick to the split at the moment, and they're gonna try to burst down this Drake. It's gonna be very risky.
I mean, Tough Daddy's gonna dive right in, finds the charm onto Grant, but
good knockup.
Get out of there. But Daisy's right there in the front of the fight, just doing so much damage to the next Drake. Back in right there. Grant is continuously pushing forward, but Arcadius is just doing damage left and right. And the Blade Caller coming up soon, a really nice play to stop that charm. And then here comes all the feathers, and I do believe KMP are gonna be able to get this Drake despite being down their jungle.
That was kind of crazy.
Meadow right there, but they are managed to claim that Drake. They are now on soul point, and Holy Spartan did not even need to come out of the top lane. But that grand challenge is down. 3 procs are gone. Make that a 4th. It has gone through, but unfortunately, Massive is just dealing so much damage. It's kind of unreal. Not gonna lie. I hate it.
He procced the Vital even though the auto was blocked by Shen. I mean, I guess that's why this matchup is bad for Shen, because it doesn't matter if you W or not, you still get Vitals on you.
I mean, maybe they block the damage, but the Vital still goes through?
I guess.
It shouldn't
though, because the auto gets blocked. But yeah, that cleanse by Arcadius, the charm actually missed. He just panic cleansed because he thought he hit it. Now the cleanse timing was really good, but the charm did miss, so he won't have cleanse for this next fight. And Briar will land.
Here we go.
Top laner, here we go. Stun is not going to go through, but in fact, it's stun in reverse. I love that interaction.
I was ready for the parry to go through at the start of it. I was like, here we go, we get to see it, and then he didn't do it. I'm like, oh.
But I think his parry was still down, so.
Yeah, but I mean, it was fair. Ended up muting something else, which is Joe. But
coming over to 20 minutes, looking back over at the gold, and Fiora 2K up on the Shen. 2K up on the Ivern, about 1K up for Tough in the mid lane. And then Arcadius is actually 1K up in the ADC role, and support's about even.
Now,
go ahead.
I will say that even though they are down about 5,000 gold, the gold lead is slightly disingenuous because of the Drakes that they have. It's mostly arguably maybe like 3.5, 3.5K.
I'd say they're up about 2.
Does Fiora steal this? Nope, I thought she was.
Well, they're realistically they're up 4,000 gold if you're talking about like the 4v4.
Yeah.
Because Fiora's up 2K. So if she's 2,500, so if she's in side lane, this arrow will go wide.
Arrow
hit anybody.
is gonna go wide.
If that hit Arcadius, he's dead almost 100% because he doesn't have cleanse, or at least is very close to being dead, even though Vextrex is there. But with my only complaint with what Dorado that sequence for them is they didn't drop the Herald early with Massive in top lane. Because even if they drop it in base and it just walks up the lane with him, that in itself is a threat because they see the Herald the entire time Dragon is spawning and they have to match it because Shen can't match it 1v1. If they had that threat in top lane, I think the Dragon fight is a lot scarier for KNP4 and they have a less easy time playing it that slow because without Herald, Fiora can't really at this stage without Hullbreaker ignore Shen under tower. So if they had done that, they could have stopped this soul stacking, but with that mistake and with the actual really well played team fight by KNP4, they end up getting themselves on a soul point, which is really their only saving grace in this game, where they are down quite a bit.
We also like briefly touch on like how controlled these two teams are playing. Like they're trying to not make any mistakes at it, like where they can. They're doing really good at like pushing out these lanes, especially before objectives. And like we've seen it like all across the league that happen, but I don't think it's been this good to the point to where we're looking at like LCK numbers in terms of like kills right now.
Yeah, it's a bit too high for LCK. We'd have about 3 kills if we were there, but yeah, we're close.
It's about it's about a little bit too high. I'm gonna go with Dark.
Yeah, there's not 1 kill every 10 minutes, so we're not
quite. You get what I'm trying to say though.
But yes, these teams are playing very controlled. Yeah, there's only been a few like mistakes off of some bot lane plays really, and like the top dive, right? Like that you might have been able to survive and not die if you get out a little bit earlier. But overall, they played pretty well, both map-wise and these fights have looked very strong for both of these teams. I think the big thing from me is once Arcadius gets this Navori Quickblade spike, I think they have what she just has now. This next Drake fight is even scarier for KNP4 just because your Ashe doesn't have her item yet. So if it's just a 4v4 and like we've mentioned, most of this gold lead is in the Fiora, it is pretty hard to actually kill these members now that Grant has that Gore Drinker completed.
Right.
Now my question is, do we give up Soul and do we take Baron?
No, you can't trade Mountain Soul. Your whole comp is based off pick. If you give Mountain, it just makes your cross-map threat off the Fiora split push so much less.
Oh,
yeah, that's why they're kind of
stats.
Yeah, and
I mean, the only reason why I ask is if you toggle the vision real fast, you'll see KNP's 4 vision is stacked to that top side of the map.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, they have to ward for the Fiora split and see if they're trying to overload to dive top, which they won't at this point in the game, but just because there's a team commit actually from Tenno for this dragon in 5 seconds.
So it looks like they're gonna try to get mid prio here.
Oh, that was nice red line finding Grand, but Ken is gonna be able to pick up that Nautilus ultimate. Going in very strong, and here comes Briar over the top of the wall. They do find a kill onto the Rakan, but they are still pushing forward and not giving up an inch. That play caller was very huge.
Here
to
comes
pick up
Fiora.
One of the tanks. Here comes Fiora, the monster of the top lane, with a clean flash coming out from Tenno to try to get forward. But Massive just on the back line diving.
Oh my god, he got deleted.
Jungler annihilates the ADC. Tenno and Holy Spartan can't do much to hold onto this, but a really nice stun. They find the kill on the Fiora, and Holy Spartan the only one left alive, trying to find a retreat, but Tough Daddy with a double kill there in the river.
Yeah, that was 1 vital proc. Maybe 2 if he did like the 2 instant vital proc, but he instantly procs 2 vitals and just one-shot Arcadius. Now, Arcadius could have played that if he had Featherstorm available, but he used it to kill, I believe it was K-Peps he killed? Oh, no, it was 17 or Jason, one of the 2. He killed someone in the front line with, I think it was 17, with his ult, so he doesn't have it when Massive TP's over. And then, I mean, this Fiora is unbelievably fed now, almost has the Death Dance completed, which is what I'm assuming he's building into with the pickaxe and chain vest. But Arcadius was doing a lot of damage. The fight started off really poorly for them. Really good engage from 17 initially to find that play. Tenno does his best to try and save it. Does a lot of work, but once Tough Daddy just was completely untouched in that entire fight. They blew everything on Jason in 17. They just didn't have enough gas left to really win that fight. So that does delay Soul for another 5 minutes. And we'll see if Dorado Gaming can actually pressure potentially this Baron in that time with Fiora on this bot side of the map.
They should. Shen has TP though, so unless they're counting for that.
If Shen TPs, they lose inhib tower, I think.
Yeah, so this is kind of one of those weird situations where this is that macro that we were talking about that Dorado's really good at. Wait, Ryer? Okay, missed.
Not gonna go.
They have to check with it because they have no vision on this Baron.
Okay,
I mean, they have a blue trinket in the pocket of Arcadius.
Yeah, I mean, he could have blue warded it. I think it just came up. But it's like, if he blue wards it and they are on it, then she has to ult anyways. But yeah, I think he should have blue trinketed it. I don't think it was close enough though.
I'm trying to also gauge Briar fear, because I know most of the time when that hits, it's supposed to set off a fear. I don't know if there's a gauge she's supposed to feel first. But we got trading here bot side actually.
Yeah, Holy Spartan trying to contest that blue bluff, but Massive just doing really good damage.
Oh my god, he's dead.
That stun and the solo kill to top it all off. I don't know.
Taking him.
Yeah, they could, and a nice arrow finds the, Arcadius there, but a nice engage coming out from Dexarax is gonna go in. Nice grand entrance on Jason, and
that's a lot
really
of healing,
just
bro.
Don't have the amount of damage to compete with
him. Oh my god, that sharp hit.
I think he lived. Okay, I think he just loses. Tenno does win this.
Yeah, Tenno does. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like
this is super. Oh, they're overloading bot. They can take Baron for free now.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
They have to match
the
Massive,
classic Baron. They can't kill him.
I mean,
they're gonna try.
The parry, the grand entrance comes, it's gonna whip, but they do find the stun. But no
they don't win
additional follow-up.
Dang, they're actually just gonna lose Baron for free off that because of this too.
And then the minions.
Yeah, now Massive just goes top.
Amazing macro, man, just coming out of Dorado. That's so crazy. It's just Massive creating that advantage on the top side, and then kind of not soloing. What's the word I'm looking for? But continuing pushing that advantage, leading to the kill at Holy Spartan right there, which had to force them. 4-1 it. Yeah, I agree. But anyways, creating that kill on the Holy Spartan, which created that opening for them, have to open up the map and spread themselves apart. Oh, they are. Interesting.
Tenno, see, I actually like this. Tenno has to match Massive because Holy Spartan cannot 1v1 him. And, and I'm assuming they think, which they would be right to assume, that Massive's going top because it's the last easy objective for him to get on side. So if they play 1-3-1 with Arya in bot and Fiora in top, Tenno has to match Fiora. So then Tough Daddy actually has a good 1v1 in bot side, and that bot lane tower is very low. So once that bot lane tower goes over, Tough Daddy can rotate back mid and they can play 4-1 with this top pressure. The only problem with how it is right now is Massive is one tempo too far forward, so he can get collapsed on here.
I mean, looks like that's what they are doing too.
Okay, he is gonna wait. Okay, cool, nice.
This is such a good game from both these teams, man.
He's fine. He doesn't die here.
I like.
Yeah, now they're synced. Now they're synced, so they can play this. The only problem is now Tough Daddy's one tempo behind, but it should be fine.
Oh, we're going in on Jason here.
Tenno's gonna go on to Jason. They find the chains. They find the hook. Here comes Briar ultimate on top of KEKW'D, but the rest of the team fight is going on the other side of the map. And Arcadius is just sticking over to 17. It's just healing through the armor. Really nice play on the end of that. They pick up the support, but here comes a massive top.
Thunderstorm's up. Oh, he's dead.
Top of the wall. And Tenno is just gonna get 2v1. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to have any gas left in the tank to survive this. Vexarax, the only one left standing, and he is gonna fall. Holy Spartan looking down on Dorado Gaming team and just praying for mercy, and that is an ace for Dorado in game 1.
Okay. It's just it's a Fiora diff. What can we say?
Yeah. They could have played the 1-3-1 a little bit better. They weren't synced on their waves, but they just won the team fight. It took them way too long. It took KMP4 way too long to get anything from that engage. They only ended up killing the Nautilus. I don't know how Jason lives. I know Tenno missed the chains, but I don't even know how he lived in general. He got instantly eaten by Silas. Arcadius does get a kill over, but nothing more than that. Then Massive comes down and just one-shots them completely. Looking at damage graphs here, I mean, it pretty much tells everything. Tough Daddy and Massive doing 22,000 damage respectively. Next most in the game was Tenno. with 15,000 and Arcadius with 14,000. But aside from them, no one else doing a whole lot of damage. And I mean, Jason just did a good job just surviving on side and just letting Massive and Tough Daddy do all that work inside.
I gotta say, man, I mean, I don't think Massive is ever getting Fiora again, so there's that. But then
there's
Homeboy
still
are probably going on
Camille,
Camille.
Aatrox,
Yeah.
Gwen.
So so it's not to say that KNP like didn't have an answer per se. Like I feel like next game they probably will, but they had an idea coming into this first game of what they wanted to do in terms of the team fight. That's just not really how Dorado plays, more or less. They just give Massive a split pusher. They're like, all right, go up there, we'll see you later. And occasionally, you know, he'll come down for fights. But it's just I think what KNP need to do from here is they need to formulate some kind of plan to be able to stop Masu from getting these split pushers and be able to match him. So you have to go like bruiser for bruiser.
You can't answer with
in
Shen.
terms. It's just I get the whole idea of why they did this, but it's just unfortunately when you know a player like Masu loves splitting and loves they playing the long con with the macro game, you have to have an answer for that. Now, will they have it in game 2? I sure hope so. Otherwise, we're in for a quick night, and I don't want that. So
otherwise, I might be correct, which I didn't think I would be.
I mean, you guys covered all the points that came up in my mind too. So with that being said, we're going to take a short little break, and we will be back momentarily for game number 2. right, ladies and gentlemen, if you were just joining us in the Twitch chat, thank you so much for showing your love for Unstoppable, because it is finals week and it is Dorado up 1 game versus KMP4. A little dicey for KMP4. They did have I think they did have some good decisions in that early to mid game, especially prioritizing those Drakes to get that soul. Unfortunately, I think they did kind of trip up a little bit, letting K-Peps take free range over those Heralds, considering they had a Fiora in the game, because Fiora in herself is just another Herald on the team, kind of like the way Set is. So giving them even more Heralds to break open your map is not the most ideal position you want to be in. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but KMP did not take a single tower last game.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
And it's just that thing where I mentioned where it just got to a point where Fiora was just kind of everywhere doing what Fiora does when she's ahead. And then it just led to kind of more and more just like pressure onto KNP to have to like make something happen on the map. I did like their dragon control. That was nice. I mean, except the last one, obviously, but that was just because of a lost fight that, whatever. And I liked their vision control around the Baron and the Dragon when they had it. And obviously, they got cleared out. But it's just, they just need to answer this top split push. Because some of those fights that they had were close. Even with the gold discrepancy. It looked good. Both teams played each fight good. Tough Daddy played out of his mind on the Ahri.
Yeah, I would say Arcadia played out of his mind on the Ahri.
I was going to...
Oh, and we have another
Spectrum diff. I might be doing draft by myself as I hate to do this when DBC's lagging out, but they are starting draft.
All right, I will join you in the draft then. Marco is gonna.
You can join me until DBC hopefully gets back, but they have started bans, Jarvan ban and GP ban already. GP
Zach, I find it interesting that they keep banning Zach. Honestly, just because of the fact that Grant also plays Zach. So
I think the big thing for them is K-Pep's most played is Poppy. So they ban Zach. So because if they pick Zach, they're just gonna get poppied, and they should just ban Zach because they don't play Poppy themselves in jungle. At least from what I can see from Grant's pool, he doesn't play it very much.
There he is.
That's my guess. Yeah, there he is. Okay, that's my guess as to why they're banning the Zach instead of something like the Poppy. But they do ban the Fiora instead of the Jinx this time around, and they will first pick Ivern for themselves. So we'll see what Dorado has as an answer to this champion, but I mean, there's a few things they can go. I don't know if DBZ died once again because his camera cut out. Yeah. But I'm curious to see if they go something like Hecarim or Belveth, like just a hard carry jungler against this, or if they will just go back to what they played last time and just go the supportive jungler and just take the matchup L, just like a Maokai, Sejuani, or Wukong, something like that. And they will go Maokai.
The Maokai. I mean, I do gotta say that Maokai is kind of a flex pick due to the fact that 17 can play Maokai, has played Maokai, not one of their best champs, but has played a lot of those champs.
Yeah, I think the only issue with Maokai is Ivern is good into Maokai. It's a good matchup for Ivern, so you are counterpicking yourself a little bit. They will blind support, actually. I'm curious as to see why they didn't necessarily go with Jace. I know Massive doesn't really play it, so it's not really a flex for them, but Maokai Jace is so strong. So they will blind pick their supports. There's a lot of things that KMP can do here. I think they can just go with another Xayah lane. It looks good, but they will go Aphelios instead.
I like they might go Aphelios,
Aphelios, Lulu, or Emilio. Either one are pretty good.
I think it would be Emilio lane, just considering.
You can go Tahm Kench as well. Tahm Kench is really good into. You can go Rakan as well. Both of those are good into Leona.
Well, I mean, with the Maokai, I don't think you. I mean, not the Maokai. With the Ivern, I don't think you necessarily need the Rakan. Just because he's going to be going so far forward, I think they would need somebody a little bit more in reserve.
Yeah, Daisy. Yeah, they will TK. Okay.
The TK, I think the TK would be really good here. The Abyssal Dive, kind of saving anybody with his ultimate as well. And I honestly, the way Arcadius has played, like I imagine his Aphelios is just as gross.
Yeah.
I mean, whoa, a Draven, really?
I don't know if I like that. I think
I don't know either.
The thing with Draven is you really have to get this lane going. I like that less.
I like it less as well.
So
I mean,
the thing
it's
with
still a
Seraphine,
flex. It's still a
yeah,
flex.
it's a flex to mid lane, but it's
Yeah.
almost not. It's almost guaranteed not going bot lane, at least in my opinion. I think Seraphine Leona is like decent, but against Aphelios TK, it doesn't really do what you want to do against this lane, which is you want something that has kill threat in lane to actually put Aphelios behind.
I mean, it provides a lot of poke, but
Yeah, it's
Seraphine's
just with Tahm Kench, you have so
follow-up
much
with the
sustain.
Leona isn't a lot of damage, especially in that early game. Considering this patch, she did
They're
get
banning
nerfed with her
Sylas. Yeah, they
Q.
have to.
Her Q did get nerfed this patch,
Yeah.
so like she's
Yeah,
not
she
going to
got
be
hit.
doing as much damage, and the cooldown is a lot more.
Yeah, Seraphine's win rate is still up there. Obviously, Champ is still very strong. Is a little bit skewed because mage bot lanes with Senna are just inherently higher win rate. My big thing though is, I mean, it's tough, right? I think they can if they didn't ban the Ziggs, I think that was actually a really good angle for them. But aside from that, they kind of had to go like some long range hyper carry. They could have gone Ashe once again for Jason.
Yeah.
They could have gone Twitch potentially. I think Misfortune isn't that bad for them, although it's kind of hard when you have Tahm Kench Ivern because there's a lot of just random knockups for her to not play well with.
And also the shielding as well. It'd be
Yeah,
really
it just
hard for her
doesn't
to
have the
play.
same level of impact, right? It just into Tahm Kench, it's hard.
So
Draven
are they
really is their
going to
only
give the
answer.
counter pick over to the top laner? I feel like you would want to prioritize Tough Daddy's matchup a little bit more.
Yeah.
Personally, maybe just blind
I don't
picking.
know. I think you just have to blind mid. I think you want to give Massive something that's favorable for him. Just because that's your whole identity is splitting top, but they will go Syndra blind. The Orianna is banned away along with the Sylas. The Jace did get banned, so I was thinking that they should have gone that earlier. Honestly, I don't like the Leona blind. They could have had a much easier time in this draft. They kind of hurt themselves a little bit by doing that. We'll see what KMP4 have as an answer to this Syndra, as both the Sylas and the Orianna are banned. They can go Nico, but they will pick Malphite now that Sylas is off the table and they know what is available. So they might be going for an Aphelios and 4 wards type comp.
I do like the Rise. I do like the Rise pick here, just because of how Rise is late game. And then they're gonna go for that Malphite hover in the top lane.
I don't to get fed.
I don't know if Malphite is the play here.
Wow.
Cassante, Alawi. Who are we going with? Honestly, take the Camille off the table.
Darius isn't bad. Ornn is really bad. You're gonna get.
I don't like the Ornn here. I feel like they should.
You're gonna get Camille. You're gonna get slammed on Camille on R5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such an easy Camille.
Yeah,
R5.
there it is. There it is. R5 Camille. I mean, I don't know why Holy Spartan just doesn't take the Camille off the table. He does play Camille, and it kind of does fit. Camille does fit into their comp very nicely
very good
as well. So taking it away from Dorado and giving it over to yourself would be a lot more helpful. But
only problem
I mean, like you said, I don't.
Camille, then they pick Jax on R5. It's like it's a really tough top lane pick here for Holy Spartan. I think his best option is the Renekton, honestly. If they were going to pick anything, because the problem with this, right, is this is almost an Aphelios and 4 wards type composition. They do have the Rise, but Rise's job in this is going to almost entirely be side laning against Camille. I don't think it's like you can really have this Rise play in team fights and have this Ornn just die to this Camille in side lane, because you're going to end up with a very similar situation you did last game, where this Rise is winning 1v1 against Syndra, but this Camille just has so much pressure and you don't really have an option to answer it with. But I think DBZ is at least half back. I'm not 100% sure though. I can't really hear him. He said he's back.
Let's
You're here, okay. All right.
Let's see what his thoughts are.
We have been spectrum gapped again, lads.
Okay.
It's just a spectrum gap. Any of you who live anywhere that has spectrum, do not get them. I'm forced to because I'm in an apartment, so there's that. Anyway, so I was finally able to catch the draft when we were more than halfway through it, so I'm still kind of looking through it. I find it interesting that Dorado do go forward with the Seraphine Leona lane, which is going to be very interesting.
I don't like it.
Kind of low damage for a while. I mean, but I get the idea. It's more of a setup for like Syndra and Camille, because Camille is going to want to try to get to this Aphelios. The issue being with Tahm Kench on the other side, it kind of just makes it a little weird. But with Aphelios Tahm Kench, I'm not too much of a fan of it. Aphelios has to get fed in order to do anything.
Yeah.
So the fact that one of these other high-level AD carries is open, yeah, I mean, as I'm looking at the bans, I'm surprised they didn't pick one of them.
There's so many things open. Yeah.
It's just interesting, like Kai'Sa is open, which I think that would have been fine,
Well,
especially
I'm
into this.
thinking the way they don't have a problem with it is because of Jason subbing and like his main role being the mid lane. Like they're like,
yeah,
okay, well,
it's just you have no damage with this.
It's like we could take these risks in the bot lane because we won't get punished as hard.
Just have no damage. All of your damage is magic damage.
Yeah, that's one of the things I definitely want, which is why they picked the Camille, because she can be the entire slate of AD damage.
Side lane the whole game.
But one thing I also want to like briefly comment on is what we've seen, especially a lot in Risen, but especially at Worlds, is blue side is the most broken side. As we saw last night, blue side had 100% win rate in the Weibo BLG series. So
it did, yeah.
Very, very interesting. So if KNP have blue side on their favor, you know, I'm cool with that. I forgot my client crashed because gapped, but how long are we on?
Oh, we're not even into speculating yet. You're good.
Okay.
We got lots of time.
So it's just as I'm looking at these two drafts, I mean, I'm kind of a little salty that KNP decided not to have an answer for the Camille split push. I mean, granted it was R5, but I can see the thought process of having the Ryze there. Ryze is really the only one that can more or less stay against her. Just build your normal build and build Frozen Heart so she can't one tap you, I guess. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. Now, if let's say Ryze gets fed, lands everything on her, then maybe it's good.
I mean, so game one during our little spectale, I was calling out stats for Dorado, but for KMP4, Holy Spartan, unfortunately, not on the leaderboard. Oh, not high on the leaderboard. I was only going for like first through third. But Grant is third in KDA and second in DPM. Keno is second in KDA, second in DPM, and second in solo kills per game. So we are seriously looking at the matchup between the best mid laner of this split and the second best mid laner of the split. Arcadius is second in KDA, third in DPM, third in solo kills per game, and then Vexarax rounding the team out with first in vision score percentage.
Right,
so, you know, KMP4 definitely have a good all-around team. Dorado Gaming definitely having the individual players like topping the charts in their respective categories, and then you bring that together, you just have unstoppable force.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how I view this series: Dorado Gaming, unstoppable force, and KMP4 immovable object, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I see that, but with these compositions, they're definitely not immovable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like they're in a similar problem that they were in last game. Now, I do also have an issue with Dorado Gaming's comp. I'll start with KMP. You mentioned it. They have very low damage, and they have no answer to Camille in side lane. Tenno has to get fed to be even able to look at Camille the wrong way. Otherwise, he will get one shot in side lane just as much as Ornn will. And you're going to be wanting to 5v5 because you have Ivern and CK Aphelios. And Ornn. You want to play these 5v5s or at very least 4v4s with Tenno inside lane against Camille, which you will have a hard time matching. The only upside for their comp is when you look at Dorado Gaming, they have no damage. Absolutely no damage. And all the damage that they have in these 4v4s, because Massive will almost entirely be in side lane or looking for TP flanks, is magic damage. All of it is. So, and Seraphine Syndra is very burst heavy damage. They don't really have a lot of sustained DPS. Their only sustained DPS are Maokai saplings. So, if they can't one-shot Tahm Kench and Ornn, which is very hard to do, then they won't be able to even look at Aphelios the right or wrong way. And the only way that Aphelios is dying is with a Camille flank, and they have a Tahm Kench. So if TK is still alive and has EAT available, Arcadius will be able to free fire in these fights with no problems whatsoever, unless he gets randomly hit by a Solar Flare or the Nature's Grasp or the Encore from Seraphine. They have a lot of CC, but they don't really have the damage to follow it up with Massive, what I'm assuming is going to be playing very heavily into the side lane. So I really do think Massive needs to go 8-0 again, otherwise they're going to have a very hard time killing anybody.
Well, with that being said, Freak, since your Spectrum gapped, Drake Soul, what do you got?
Okay, so because we've had the flip-flop between the two, I'm going to say Cloud Soul for this one. I know Darter's going to say Mountain.
Yep.
So what are you going to say, Hyper?
I think it's got. I think an Ocean Soul would be really spicy this game, considering Dorado's comp is burst comp, and KMP can't really be bursted down aside from the Aphelios. So I think an Ocean Soul would be.
If they get Ocean, they just won't die.
Yeah, so I think an Ocean Soul would be really spicy here.
Okay.
So with that, spec delay at 2 minutes, we are going to take a quick little break this time, and we'll be back on the Rift when the game starts up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dragon Pit of Shame. I apparently am bad. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at guessing Dragon Souls, but I did see some KMP 4 pings there on the bot side of the map, and along with Dorado as well. We're gonna get some spicy.
These level 1s are not that great. I mean, the Seraphine Leona level 1 is great, but other than that, I don't know what else they get off of it. Looks like they're gonna go ahead and go for an invade here. The ward.
Oh, guys, massive called out the ward. It's over.
What's 5 gold?
He got 5 gold. He's stacking. He's scaling. It's not good.
Who got the word? Okay, it's Camille and Aphelios got 5 gold. No, hold on.
Oh, okay. We balanced it out. We're good.
Hold on.
We're good.
Okay, we're cooking.
No gold lead before 1 minute this time.
Nice.
Absolutely spamming.
Oh wow, what is he doing there? He didn't even do anything wrong. I get it, he's a catfish, but let the man be.
He's a support. What do you expect?
So we're running heal on Tom Kench, which is very interesting. Kind of surprised we're not going for the exhaust or the. I would think exhaust, especially in the Camille, but in this instance, I kind of get it. More survivability. Yeah, for survivability, I kind of get it. But I'm really curious about this mid lane matchup in particular, especially because like it's been quite a while since we've seen like the Ryze Syndra matchup. You know, mostly we associate Ryze with Faker, who definitely back when Ryze was meta was one of the best Ryze players we've ever seen in the world.
His best champ is LeBlanc.
Is LeBlanc, yeah.
Yeah. It's just Faker to Azir, honestly.
Nowadays I could see that. Yeah.
LeBlanc is his champ. Yeah. If you watched like like I say old, but like 2017 prior, LeBlanc is like Faker's champ, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I actually, funny enough, see some kind of memes in the chat kind of going on right now. Is what is Iota? What is? Oh wait, hold on. We're gonna trade here.
Oh yeah, Matt's level 2 first. Holy Spartan!
He's Flash.
Trying to get first blood and Flash is forward. Got to love it, but down there in the bot lane, Arcadia's hitting level 2 first, and they're going in with the big trade themselves.
What do we call it? The Ornn macro handbook?
Yes.
So
yes,
let me check. So the big thing is, I've said this before. I've said this multiple times. We've seen Camille Ornn multiple times this split. It is a skill matchup until Camille gets Divine Sunder. So that solo kill was hand stiff. Also, he just hit level 2 first and just absolutely, and Holy Spartan did not respect it. But I'm going to consult the macro Ornn document here in a second.
So I was gonna say that Twitch chat was memeing saying what has happened if KNP builds Mercs and then Zol is like they kind of just win, which I was gonna mention how true it is. Up until Massive just got that first blood, so that's cool. I mean, they're most likely gonna play through him. Like even right now we see, because Holy Spartan does have Flash, but looks like we're gonna get a lane gank here for level 2. I mean,
Grant is here. They are gonna see Grant coming up the river, but a really nice knockup coming from that charge. But Maokai diving in on the Holy Spartan. The root is gonna miss.
Syndra's here too.
Oh, look at the river, because here comes Syndra. Tough Daddy is here. The Scavenger of the Week does find the Ivern. Grant forced the flash away.
Direct to cam.
And direct to camera trolling me. Flash forward from Tough Daddy. Does not find the kill under Grant because the shield is too strong. They go all in there. Unfortunately, only walk away with some flashes. A flash. They walk away with a flash.
Oh, Grant was the only one that flashed that whole exchange.
Yeah,
I'm on the other side, but Tough Daddy and K-Pets it too.
Yeah, they burned 2 flashes to try to get that kill and only got a flash in return.
Interesting, okay.
Alright, so is he following the macro Ornn document? He has Grasp, Demolish. Nope, he has Bone Plating. Okay, he's not a...
Wait, return gank here. Hold on a second.
I mean, nobody expects...
Oh, he's so dead. I mean, he has Flash, but...
Hey, here comes the hook shot, the stun, the forward, the root, the flash. Accept your demise. That is another kill. 2-0 Camille now.
I have nothing to say. That's just massive playing Camille. We saw what this dude did, I think, the first week of playoffs, so like...
Yep. We saw it in regular season as well.
Oh, that's true. Also in regular season.
That's true.
So like... I'm 100% anticipating that if Dorado does win this game, it will be through Massive, to be completely honest.
Oh, it has to be.
It's just... Camille, just Massive on Camille reminds me of players like 369 when he used to play it last year or the year before.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely demolishing everyone in the side lane, somehow still losing games, funny enough too.
Yep.
But that's what I'm getting reminded of right now. It's just, this dude is nuts on like bruisers and split pushers. It's looking a little, as Darter says, Joe lost in the top lane at the moment.
Joe lost up there completely. Now, I do want to say, on the point of the Merc Treads, they have to buy Merc Treads. It's not even like a what if they buy Merc Treads. They have to. So, and Holy Spartan does as well, because if he buys Steel Caps and he goes armor, he's gonna get one shot by Syndra, even though he's playing Ornn. And no amount of armor will save you from Camille with Divine Sunder. So there's actually just no point.
Yeah, honestly.
Champions broke, lads.
Champions broke. Fiora's more OP. Now, the worst Ornn matchup is Fiora. So they did ban that one away. But they did leave Camille open, which is like one of his other worst matchups. And they know he plays Fiora. We saw it in quarterfinals. We've seen it all throughout the season. This guy plays a ton of this champ. Also in solo queue as well. But we still blinded Ornn. And, I mean, normally it doesn't go this one-sided this early on, but Oh, they're going for it.
Yeah, Arcadius is walking a little bit too far forward. K-Peps is now shown on the map. But I do gotta say, Arcadius did a really good job of clearing the wave out with that Q from the purple gun, the Graviton.
Blue Q into purple Q. I want to see what his gun cycle is. I trust him.
He cycled out green first.
Okay, never mind. I lied. I've lost all my faith.
Honestly, I was gonna bring it up after you were done making the point. You guys about the Merc treads and the armor. I mean, he throws it on him. I mean, I do gotta say the Rook is gonna miss on Jump Daddy, but his health bar getting dangerously low, and a kill going over to the Rise, even with unlimited power.
Yeah, Unleashed Power does not do enough from full HP onto Gran Torino to kill him, but Gran Torino did miss his Q on a rooted target. So that one's going in the review. But they do still get the Q, thankfully. And Tenno will go up a kill. So, and Rise is one of the members you need to get fed on this team. But probably enough, Massive is still down CS, by the way.
I was about to question why there was such a deep cold lead for KEKW'D, but then I looked at the CS numbers. I'm like, oh, yep, that's why.
Arcadius is just Giga. this is why I didn't like the Seraphine pick.
Yeah, he's just
you
not that great.
You can't actually CS against Aphelios unless he has, like, purple-red. Then you can. But if he doesn't have purple-red, you can't farm against him because he outranges you and he can hit you through wave.
Right now, I think he had blue-purple.
Yeah, blue-purple is your first cycle, so it depends on which one he cycles first. He should cycle purple first, but he already cycled green before red, so I don't know how much Phillies he plays, but that's not correct.
Fair. Looks like we got a lot of movement happening up towards the top side as Riftchild is spawning in the next couple of seconds. We will see K-Peps on this ward right now at the moment. Leona is mid-side, so is Tom Kench. Not level 6 on either of the supports, though, so this is interesting. Okay, looks like they're maybe just helping him push it out, I would assume, to kind of get some pressure up top.
He probably is sitting on a lot of gold and wants to back.
I don't know. He's like he knows Leona's there. Here we go.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely knew she was there. But Gran Torino and Holy Spartan making their way up from the north side of that river. A scatter of the week is going to find 2 people, and the super long tongue misses.
Interesting. We got 28 also stacks on the collab for the Aphelios. Probably will finish it in this next couple of will finish it in this next couple of minutes. It's because it's kind of just a free farming lane that will be extra gold in his pocket. Tenno is kind of playing. I don't want to say playing with fire per se, because 17 has been in this lane for quite a while on this side of the map. I'm assuming just getting solo XP for the Seraphine because she does have ult now. Same thing for Arcadius, was kind of left alone for a little bit to get solo XP. Never mind, there
Zexarax goes forward. He is level 6. Finds the tongue lash for the 3-stack proc, but not in position to ult him.
Yeah, if he got one more auto off and then Q'd, he would have got the stun and then Jason would have had to flash, but unfortunately doesn't get that last auto off, so Jason does get out with his life and is doing his best to clean up these minions, but Massive just slapping Holy Spartan up here.
Yeah, Drake for another Triforce game.
Drake for Herald.
He likes Trinity Force a lot on Camille, which is I don't think I've ever seen him build Thunder on this champ.
I do not believe so, even in the games that we've watched. I think good uses of
yeah, it is, but a really good knockup too. But the shielding, call the Forge God.
Going for it.
Flashes forward, predicts the flash is shut down. Over to Holy Spartan. We got 2.
Oh, it's like that.
Going on. One in the bot lane, one in the mid lane. They went for a bot tower dive, but Seraphine with that Oxford keeps them alive. But like what a play for Holy Spartan in the top lane.
Never mind, Holy Spartan is goated. I take everything back I said.
He's about it. See, I told you, skill matchup until Divine Sunderer. He's not even going Divine Sunderer,
so. I love it, man. I was not expecting that, to be completely honest. Once he hit the Ornhorn, I was like, now wait a minute.
Yeah, when he hit the Ornhorn,
Passive did flash too early, to be fair, but that was a flash predict by Holy Spartan. So.
Yeah, 100%.
We got a lot of pressure going on top side. They want to get some of these plates. They could dive him.
I don't know if they want to. Nature's Grasp is not available, and the hook shot to get out of there, securing that one last plate. Oof.
Okay, just
it's a different game than game 1, that's for sure.
Yeah.
10 minutes, only 4 kills. Now we're on LCK tracking, so there's that. Individual advantages across the map, as we can see. KNP up 600 gold. I will hold my tongue on the thoughts of as I say, I'm not going to get too excited because it is just a bot lane lead. Arguably, I think Camille is barely ahead. You got 400 gold, so not bad on her end. Mid lane's even. Jungle is basically even. It's just really the bot lane where most of the lead is, and the entirety of the lead, I will say instead, actually. And a second Drake coming up 3 minutes. So it was just an Ocean, so I'm assuming there's probably a Hextech or a Chemtech Drake, as you know, not in the game.
Yeah, he put his green gun in the wrong spot.
Oh, they find the root on a KEKW'D, okay.
He's gonna steal this away. Yeet! Yep, there it goes.
There it goes. Nature's Grasp is gonna get pulled too, but Keno is engaging on the Tough Daddy, so he can't rotate over. Then his blade is gonna miss. And it looks like Vexarax here for the save. And unfortunately, 17 is just caught in between a TK and a Daisy. Nowhere else to go.
He might get a trade kill here. All right, never mind. We'll back up.
He doesn't have enough damage yet.
The Rod of Ages is finished on the rise, and oh, never mind. We're not done.
Jason might get. Yeah, there's the auto. Q on cooldown. There's the stun. There's the root. Encore is going to hit both of them, but it does not matter. Vexarax claims the kill. He's going to get pushed into tower. But it looks like Arcadius is here to fight too. He's here to battle. He's trying to walk his way outside of tower, but red and white, and K-Peps understands. You don't fight him.
Well, I mean, you could have, because he had like 5 ammo left in red and then decided to red Q, and now he has white-purple. However, just didn't have enough damage to go for that. It was still 3v1, so he decides to get out with his life. Does defend the tower, though. Won't be able to get any plates, but Arcadia is still very far ahead.
But he's sitting on a nice chunk of gold right now, I would assume. And that should finish the Kraken? No. Okay, Kraken. Alright, so finish the Kraken clear.
Yeah, I personally don't like Gale Force anymore. Just because it's slow damage, and items been nerfed so much. But I honestly would still build it this game. I think he kind of needs to.
I always will build it on. There's only one champion I'll actually like religiously build it on, and it's Jhin.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to guilt. Right? It's just so funny to guilt force shot. I love doing it.
Yeah, it's just this game is hard for Arcadius' build path because he kind of needs to go IE because he needs to do so much of the damage for this team.
Yeah.
But Gale Force does feel really nice against these champions, especially against like Leona and Seraphine. You can really do a lot of outplays with it. But yeah, Massive has an item, so it's no longer a skill matchup. Sorry, Holy Spartan, you did well though.
It is Triforce though. You did say if it was Sunderer.
Yeah, Sunderer makes it completely unplayable, but Trinity Force is like nearly just as bad. It's just not as bad because it doesn't have the same level of sustain that Sunderer has with healing. Gotcha. That's why Sunderer just makes it completely unplayable because you take a quarter of HP per Q and she's always full HP.
Yeah.
Whereas with Trinity Force, you still take a quarter of your HP per Q, but you can actually deal damage back.
Okay, that was some good damage.
Ooh, Solar Flare, not going to find it, but they did a nice sidestep from Arcadius. He's going to flash forward. Doesn't probably have that Q up on cooldown. A nice root from that Graviton. He does have the Moonlight available.
Ooh, that's some good TK damage. The TK might die here. He does have ult. He should use it.
He does have ult. I don't know what he's waiting on. The Moonlight Vigil now goes.
Why did he use it late?
He used it so late, and Jason just lives with a sliver, and I mean a sliver of health. It looks like he's back to the original.
Okay. No, he's not. So he basically what he's done now is he's moved green red in front of blue purple, and then he cycled blue before purple. So what he'll have is he'll have green red, then white, and then white blue blue purple green red. That's what his cycle is right now.
Oh, first tower taking top side before they can get it. The fighting and happening now. Tough Daddy
danger. And the Scatter of the Week is going to find Keno too, but Rise just deals so much damage and just is so tanky at the same time. Like I do not like that champ on top of me loving that champ.
It's Rod of Ages plus Mercs against a one-shot mage that doesn't have any items, right? So, well, she has the Leandries, but then just that alone, it doesn't do enough.
Really good at dragon stacking.
Yeah, I mean, they have full prio in this bot lane. These drakes are so easy for them to get. Now, Massive
it's
finally getting an advantage in top.
Bro.
It is mountain. So my philosophy holds true once again.
Oh my god. But yeah,
Second Herald on the map though. Call the Forge God looking for Tough Daddy. He flashes now. A flash prediction on that one. He does pick up the kill, and KEKW'D is now pincered in between the rest.
They can get this easy.
They turned that Drake into a pit on top of that.
Better fix your gun stack, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say?
I said he better fix his gun cycle or I'm gonna lose it.
There it is, red, white. Oh, wait,
now
no, he's blue now.
Well, yeah, because he didn't have any ammo. See, I told you, what he had was he had green, red, and then he's gonna have blue, white, and then he's gonna have blue, purple, and he's gonna have green, red again. Because he cycled green before red once again, so rather, like, the way to fix the gun cycle from this point was if he cycled red, and then white, and then cycled green, and then purple, and then blue, and then he would have his gun cycle fixed.
We're playing really risky here.
They find the route, but the Nature's Grasp to follow up, and nice to see the play on top of the center player, but they're trying to pick off that TK, and TK unfortunately doesn't live, and Leona is going to fall.
Here comes Camille from the back.
But here comes K-Pep trying to dive out of the back line. They finally pick up Exarax, and Gran Torino's health bar's getting dangerously low. Keno finds a kill, but so does Seraphine. And not Seraphine, but so does the Syndra. Another kill picked up from the Syndra. TP coming in from Holy Spartan, but massive matches it. Here comes the Hextech ultimatum. A hook shot into the wall, a scatter of the week, and it looks like a shutdown and an ace coming out for Dorado.
Oh man, so many low health bars and just not anticipating the Camille flank. Oh, and the late TP. Oh man.
Late TP, didn't see Massive on the flank. Also, bad guns for Vilios as well.
Overstayed, I want to say.
Yeah, overstayed. Overpushed their pressure. Vilios didn't have good guns for fighting. I know, like, blue-white is good, but since he used blue ult and not white ult, the sustained DPS is very low. He had to use white ult there to get Chakram so he could actually fight, but he just got one shot at the beginning, so he just can't play that fight. So your main carry doesn't have the ability to deal with the sustained DPS they need to. Also, Tenno going Seraph second, he doesn't have a lot of damage right now, to be honest. He's just full defensive items. Will ult on the Jason, though. I don't think he'll get anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
He does have flash if he decides to go for it.
I mean, Seraphine, he just, like, doesn't allow him to die, so.
Yeah. But wow, it's just that fight. That fight looked good till it wasn't. It was just a weird,
cycle purple.
Weird positioning. Okay, so now we're on blue purple, which
he's gonna cycle blue out. I know he is.
He only has 10 ML left on blue, so he kind of has to. And now he has red. He has green, purple. Okay, we're almost there. Now we cycle. No, he has to like recycle his guns twice to fix his gun cycle.
Interesting.
But if he just keeps it like this, he will never have good team fighting guns.
Obviously, we know the best one is red-white. Obviously.
Yeah. So the way that you're supposed to do it is you cycle red first, and then you cycle green, and then you cycle purple, then blue, and then you cycle red again. So then you end up with red, white, white, green, green, purple, purple, blue, blue, red, red, white.
Gotcha.
And then you keep that cycle for the whole game. Now, what some Ithilios players do instead is they'll cycle blue first before purple, so then they end up with green, blue, which is better for if you're trying to like 1v9 a game and you need to play from really far range. That you can actually team fight with that very effectively. But then you end up with purple, red, which isn't the greatest gun combination for fights. Yeah. But yeah, but with the cycle he has right now, he'll only ever have like one good gun combination for team fighting, and that's blue white, and it's a very hard gun combination to use in these very short bursty fights.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if he fixes it, he'll be able to do a lot more, but as it stands, his gun combination is not the greatest.
Okay. One thing I want to ask, if we can get Marco to kind of click on Syndra and see how many stacks she has. She's level 13, so she should have
94.
Okay, so should have either have or close to the execute on the ultimate, I believe. Yeah. So that's gonna be a contention point. She should be rushing. I am assuming she is going Shadow Flame second. That's what the item's gonna tell me. Okay, she just finished it. That's now
locked and loaded.
We have a Mountain Drake here in 24 seconds. Which means we're about to have a fight, and if, you know, KNP kind of unfortunately like I don't want to say cycle their cooldowns correctly, but if they don't burst out, I think one of these squishies first, I think the fight is kind of lost.
They need to try and one-shot someone, yeah.
Probably Seraphine.
Top lane going in a little bit, but here comes that Nature's Grasp on the wall with that engage, a Solar Flare pinning down, and a chain CC from that Encore, and a really nice scatter of the week, but a cleanse coming out from the Arcadius. Keno is in grave danger, trying to get out of there. 17's health bar,
there it is.
Low, and an ultimate coming out from Arcadius, which was the green ultimate, so he did get a lot of free chakrams off of that with that long range Q, but it looks like they're in the top lane, massive forced Holy Spartan to base and takes that tier 2 turret in the top lane, and they also get this Drake.
Right as they go to engage, and we say they need to pick someone up, they pick the tankiest member.
Yeah. They honestly, like, going onto Leona there is not actually the worst, because she's not that tanky, especially when Arcadius is the one hitting her, because she has like, really no armor.
Just the follow-up is insane.
It looks like he's kind of almost fixed his gun rotation, because he had good guns there. He had white-green. It's so hard for him to fight, though, because he has to play from so far away, because they don't have that, like...
He's got IE
they don't have a lot of engage to actually, like, help him heal.
Nice.
He does have the Infinity Edge completed now, so he will be doing a lot of damage, but they just don't have enough damage to, like, at that time, because he didn't have IE, to really get through that fight. And then you mentioned it, Massive just absolutely slammed top forcefully. Spartan out, got the top tier 2, so they had to give the Drake. So that'll delay their soul by quite a lot. And honestly, given the amount of pressure Massive has been able to get at this stage in the game on side lane, they'll be hard pressed to get any of these.
Tenno.
But
Tenno getting jumped on.
Ultimatum's up.
Oh, didn't hit the W. Oh, okay.
But he is going to get Hextech Ultimatum, a really nice
shield
coming through, because here comes
oh my god,
coming for the save, and a lot of
way.
damage being provided by Tenno, but Massive is still healing a lot, trying to get out of there, hookshot back into the fight, but somehow Rise just stays alive, and Tenno gets the shutdown, 650 gold in his pocket.
That's a massive shutdown. Yeah, Ivern is just completely OP. Redemption was very good by him as well.
I was gonna say.
But the big problem with that is normally, yeah, he just has too much healing. Normally, when you have that much, when you overload side that hard, they can cross map Baron, but they have no objective damage with their team comp. So Dorado can't cross map this. They can't force them off this really without a very well placed encore, and they have a lot of threat on objectives because they do have one of the best ADCs at taking them.
I mean, they're kind of split in the way that they're positioning the Tough Daddy on the top side of that Baron.
They can't take him off of this.
They're gonna burn a TP. Here comes Camille.
I think Jason is just trying to find an angle. Here comes Nature's Wrath. Camille is TPing at the top side of that river, but here comes Call the Force God. Call the Force God is gonna miss. And the nice guy with multiple members
holy
the
crap.
back line is getting jumped on, but it does not matter because he is still laying down the DPS. Camille still picks up the kill there at the end of the fight, and it looks like even though KMP4 had the superior positioning, it is all for Dorado Gaming with the ace.
Yeah, they nearly had it there. That Seraphino was massive. It
was.
And like I said, the only way they can get them off is if they hit a 4 or 5 man ult, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Massive TP flanks in. Arcadius almost one-shot him, but just didn't have enough gas to actually kill Massive before he got one shot back with the Camille Q. But the only saving grace is that Camille does not have TP, but Camille with Baron has so much side lane threat, but there are no neutrals on the map for 2 minutes, so they're gonna have to play this Baron really well. I do think Massive is correct in going top lane here because next objective is Drake, but they really want to get this bot lane tier 2 off the map and this mid lane tier 2, so they're probably gonna 4-1 mid top and then use that to pressure bot lane and have Massive completely cross map and then use that to go take Drake and Ezra at objective. That's what I would imagine they do. What they should do, at least.
God bless I think that that last fight was a result of kind of just taking too long to decide, because it looked like they were debating whether or not they actually wanted to do it, which unfortunately opened up that window to come back up. I was looking at the Camille Death Timer the whole time. Like, she has TP. When she's up, she is coming, and this fight will be completely disastrous. That's exactly what unfortunately happened. And like you mentioned, Seraphine, we were memeing about the Seraphine a little bit, but now we see why they picked it.
Yeah, when you hit ults like that, I mean, it does more than its weight. It carries its weight. I mean, like, and they didn't quite have the same threat that Aphelios normally has on objective, just because he had red or white blue. If he had white green, they one-shot that Baron 100%.
Yeah, it's just unlucky.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate gun rotation for that. Yeah,
well, they're gonna actually pull the trigger here and fight.
Yeah, they are. Call of Force God only hitting 17. Nature's Grass coming on the side of the chickens right there. Solar Flare not hitting anybody, but a shutdown going over to Keno. They do find
they need someone to match Camille now.
And here comes Keno and Ivern.
I was about to say, like, what?
Yeah, Rise up there.
You take off the gold. I want to see what items Camille has, if that's cool.
She has Maw.
That's gonna be really good for her, especially into this Rise, because after that 3v1, like, I'm not letting that happen again, most likely. Good scatter.
Nice
Good God.
scatter on the Grant. A lot of damage too. Going for the smite on the cannon right there to keep this tower alive as long as possible. Yeah, I mean, look at the map, because here comes Camille. Massive with a hook shot, does not find any of the stuns, but I really like the use of that item right there. But holy Spartan, holy sustain, staying alive for so long. Because Grant is on this Ivan, the root does not find Tough Daddy right there. Dragon has spawned, really nice scatter the weak on the Keno, and they can just kind of take this one and walk away.
That's free, and this will be 2 Mountain Drakes for the side of Dorado. So they're getting to that point where they're not really going to be one-shottable anymore, like they were earlier. Like, let's say, for example, you know, KMP got that 3rd Drake. This isn't that bad, but the fact that this is 2 Mountain Drakes, so I think that's, what, 4% of MR armor? So now that's going to make it 8%. TK, you're going in. Never mind. They
had to try and make a play there. It's really tough. Massive got the bot lane tower. So that's last tier 2 off the map now.
I don't think they can do anything off that throw. Not with Camille there.
It's, they put the burn pretty well. I do want to give props to the KMP for actually holding it to that few objective losses. They only lost really 1 tier 2 off that Baron because it timed out by the time Massive took bot lane tier 2.
Yeah.
So they only lost 1 tier 2 plus Drake off that Baron. It could have been much worse. It's a really good ult by Tenno to actually not allow Massive to put that pressure on top lane. Just unfortunately led to Massive just walking over and diving tower. But ultimately only Vexrax dies and they only lose 1 tower, so it could be a lot worse, especially when you're playing from a deficit like this.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, they also did trade a kill as well.
Yeah, they did.
So as I'm looking at kind of across the map right now, there's really nothing on the map for a little while now. 4th Drake, 4 minutes, Baron in 2. Gold lead is 8,000 in favor of Dorado, and this is where I will now forever say that blue side's only broken if your team is willing to pick answers into things that make the other team stronger. I know it's a little flamey to say that, but...
Well, it just depends on how many blind pickable OP champs you have, right? Like, if you have strong blind picks, blue side's really good. If you're good at utilizing counter pick, then red side's better. It really depends on your team. I think, like, at this level, counter pick and comfort matters a lot, so blue side doesn't have the same power that it does in higher levels, because you can't necessarily play all the, like, super strong blind pick champs.
Yeah.
Especially when they're able to use counterpick like this for your solo lanes, it just makes it really easy.
I 100% believe that hopefully in Game 3, the Holy Spartan will whip out something that can match what the style that
he has to play a side laner.
It's just okay. So looks like Vector's going to make a play here. The scatter will land. That's a lot of damage. Good God.
Yeah.
How many stacks does Cinder have now? It was 94
Enough,
when we looked earlier. Probably like a lot. Oh, it doesn't say.
He's completed all of his stacks. He has.
Okay.
Yeah, he has max.
All right, so Syndra is really strong. So there's that.
He's getting 53 AP off passive. Doesn't have death cap yet either. So he's sitting on. He has what 400 AP without death cap.
Oh, he has red white. We did it.
Yeah, I think he's slowly been fixing it. I think he's got to the point now where his gun cycle is actually pretty good. He's just early on. I think some of the fights went a little bit the way, so he couldn't completely control his gun cycle, but he's fixed it now. At least mostly.
I'm just kind of as we're kind of in a little bit of a lull, is what I will say.
Yeah.
A little bit of a lull at the moment. There's really nothing on the map to do. Camille will do what Camille does. Baron is up in 12 seconds. Yep. So at this point, they do need to be rotating vision up towards that top side, which is what Tom Kent is doing at the moment. So good heads up on Vexrax, excuse me, to do that. They will reset, spend some of this gold they probably have. This should be Last Whisper for Abilios.
He has Hullbreaker.
Oh no, not the Hullbreaker.
You could just TP bot, honestly. You could just TP on the spell wave. Like I said earlier, the only problem with him splitting like this is they don't have objective damage. So they can't actually threaten the Baron cross map. I think that's the best thing that KMP4 can do, is Baron dance with Massive on bot lane. Because they have way more threat on objective than Dorado does, and Dorado has to answer them on this Baron rather than the other way around, just because they don't have the damage to really one-shot it without Camille there.
Yeah.
So I would like to see them actually threaten this Baron, because they're the ones that actually have pressure on it, despite them being down like 9k. And if they bait Massive TP and then peel off, it makes this split push way less threatening.
Yeah, it looks like that control has gone back to Dorado on the top side. Did clear out a couple of wards, but not that little cheeky ward that we love to see at the corner of the pit there. So really well done with the ward placement. Looks like we're just gonna we're kind of dancing a little bit, I would say.
It's the vision dance. It's the vision dance.
They can't fight because Phyllis doesn't have good guns for fighting.
He gets off white gun right here, right?
He needs to just instantly cycle both of these guns to get back to like blue-red, and then they can fight again. But or blue, he'll have blue-green because he had red-white, so which is like that's fine. But he needs to like instantly cycle these guns. He has to.
I mean, he's flying through the purple.
He's trying, right yeah. There's not much he can do. He just has to try and cycle his guns. Because if a fight breaks out now, it'll not look pretty for them.
So I'm kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So Drake is up in 20 seconds. Massive looking for a hook shot. Does not go for it.
They find a root though.
I don't think they're not gonna take that. They can't fight this right now.
I'm just saying they stop forward progression.
They can't. Yeah. I feel this needs to like give him the midway, please.
Drake for Baron. Drake for Baron. Maybe. I mean, if they get the right guns here, they could. They should just force the Baron right now.
What do we have?
We have green,
white, blue. He'll have green, white. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now they can do it. Okay. Good.
They have to go right now.
Yeah.
They're not going right now.
Massive has a super crazy angle though.
Oh man.
He's going top.
They should just pull the trigger right now while they can.
They have to. They have to fight right now.
I mean, Keno is on his way to try to match that push.
Oh, they're not going. They have to.
Losing the streak is huge too. This puts Dorado on Soul.
Oh, now they can't fight anymore.
Oh, it's 12% armor magic resist.
They can't fight anymore. They can't fight anymore.
Oh, that's so sad.
They had to go there just because of how far Massive was. He did still have TP, but they had to fight right there on that mid lane. But now they can actually threaten this Baron with Massive TP. He might actually decide to cross map his TP and just use it bot lane. We'll see. He's definitely walking down there. He should be down there just because Drake is now off the map, so he can just very easily split down there. And since Baron's the last objective, But like I said, it's hard for them to threaten it because they don't have objective damage. The only way they can threaten it is for Massive to use that Baron pressure for a flank TP.
I got to admit right now at the moment too is the fact that both of these teams know like what's on the line right now at the moment.
Yeah.
KNP knows if they lose this game, they're down to they're facing match point. That means they have to reverse sweep in order to win. Now, if Hyper's prediction becomes right, you know what? He deserves it. Birthday boy, we'll take it.
But it's them birthday buffs, dude. The Shy got them earlier today, and now I'm getting them.
Syndra has death cap now.
Yeah,
What's that? Put her at like 600 AP at the moment, plus her passive.
She has 677 AP.
Woo! Almost 700. She's one-shotting Aphelios for sure.
Oh yeah, one QE, his like 3/4 of his HP is gone.
It's gonna be disgusting. Man. I can't wait to see it, to be honest.
Right now, I love this game state because you can feel the tension, the vision dance. Everybody's just trying to farm to get those late game items for this next fight. Because if Dorado win this next fight, it's most likely game.
That's game ending right there.
The damage right there, but Vexrex is going to be able to save him. And here comes the TP coming out from Keno. Unfortunately, they do lose their jungler in the process. Here comes KEKW'D from the back line. Only Spartan a little bit too late to fall, but it's kind of over from here, boys. I don't care how much tankiness you got, you cannot survive when the fight is that split in terms of your positioning.
Yeah, that Syndra is unreal. But yeah, as soon as Grant got hit by that QE, I was like, yeah, this game's over. They had the damage to follow it up, but they weren't there to protect him. It was just Vexrex and Grant's Reno there, and Ivern is not tanky with these items at all. His only tankiness just comes from the HP he has in the shielding, but when you're playing against a Syndra with a Shadow Flame, that shielding doesn't do a whole lot. But they will go up 2-0 with a hard game for them to play, honestly, macro-wise.
I agree, yeah, and the fact that they pulled it out with that low damage comp is insanely impressive. We just kind of mentioned that like with this draft in particular, it's like they're gonna have like negative damage because of that, but it's just it's little things of what made that really good. The multi-man, and by that I mean 3 to 5 man Seraphine ults every single fight. Every fight they were hitting at least 3 people. That completely, changed the direction of the fight. Syndra landing really nutty scatter of the weeks, again, and the Camille flanking. That's how I'll say.
I want to take a look at these damage graphs. They're a bit insane. This Syndra did 40,000 damage. And next closest is 25,000, nearly 26,000 by Massive. So just nowhere near this Syndra damage. And then to be fair, like this Maokai didn't do any damage on only 11,000, Seraphine only 14,000 damage. But like you're saying, those two ultimates when paired together does so much in these fights. And on the opposite side, Arcadius did 19,000 damage on the Aphelios and Rise 18,000 damage. So just the amount of damage that the two carries from Dorado were able to do, I think they were able to make this Syndra or allow the Syndra to scale to the point where she just was able to be that sole damage, even though she's AP and all of your damage is AP. No amount of MR is, unless you're just a full tank building nothing but magic resist, is going to save you from a full stack death cap 4-item Syndra one shot.
Yeah. But God, man, here we are. It's match point for Dorado. Just they have to pull out a reverse sweep on the side of KNP. But also at the same time, it's not surprising where we are currently. And I will say is even though we are up 2-0, there have been moments that have shined for KNP.
Yeah.
It's just little macro things that I think we've highlighted like the entirety of the time that we've casted Dorado games. But at this point, I do believe that KNP can make it spicy. I really hope that they kind of come up with a little game. It's just that top side they need to have an answer to. It's just the top side.
They need an answer to the split push. And I mean, blind picking the Ornn doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence, especially when you counterpick Fiora with Shen, which is the opposite of an answer to split push. So they really need to pull something out. Holy Spartan has it in his wheelhouse to play some of these bruisers. He plays a lot of it in solo queue. His most played is Renekton, and then he plays a lot of Camille and Jax as well. So he has it in his pool, and he's played a lot of Darius recently as well. So he has these champions for him to pick. He just doesn't look comfortable picking them, at least with the team comps they've been going for.
Yeah. But I guess that'll do it for us, unless you have anything, Hyper.
No, I don't have anything else. You guys covered every point. I just really hope that KNP kind of brainstorm for this next game, and I'm not going to say that. And I really hope that they brainstorm and have an answer to Massive and his split pushing in the top lane. And like you said, it's gotta be the bruiser.
Yeah,
a lot of games on Renekton, a lot of games on Camille. Just go ahead, pull the trigger. If Massive is going to sit on an island, go ahead and pitch up your tent right next to him. With that being said, we are going to
get... KNP is going to be on red side next game.
I like that adaptation from them. I think they need to counterpick top. I like that they're going red side.
That's something we can talk about when we come back. Then send us away, Hyper.
We're gonna take a short break and get into game number 3 here in a little bit. All right,
Hello.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the caster desk. Welcome back to Unstoppables Finals with Dorado Gaming 2-0 versus Poggaroo'd the fourth. Like we mentioned right before the break, it looks like KMP4 are going to be switching sides over to red side. Darty, you mentioned it's a nice, very nice mix-up, and we're all thinking just to give Holy Spartan a better matchup in the top lane. Now, will they take will they go for the okay, we need to put him on a bruisery now. Like we got to give him a bruiser type champion. Enough of this team fight oriented. Like let's just stick the two of them on an island, ignore them, focus our attention on the bot side of the map, and we'll get things done. And we trust Holy Spartan enough to use those bruiser skills. We know he has. We do know he has them. Has them in his solo games. Plays a lot of the champions, very good with them mechanically. So hopefully we get to see him a little bit tonight. Darter, what does KMP4 need to do to not only find a way to stop Dorado, but potentially win this next game?
I mean, the big thing is play with side lane, right? I think you can trust your ADC in these 4v4s. You don't have to play like a full front to back comp because you know Dorado's not going to. And the big thing with playing these front to back style compositions is it loses to split push because you don't have an answer to that side lane. We've seen that now twice come into effect very heavily with Massive's pressure. Now, the Fiora game, he had a lot more pressure than this last Camille game. It was much closer, I think, but they still didn't have a real answer to the side lane. I think the reason why it was so close is because Dorado didn't have that threat on objective like they did in the first game because they didn't have an actual AD carry to take those objectives. So I think if they don't have a Seraphine and they have an actual ADC in either mid or bot lane, they can have, as long as they have a marksman, there's a lot more threat with that split push because they can actually cross map those objectives. So I think KMP4 have to pick a side laner to match that split push. The other thing that they can do is they can pick something that is good into the rest of his pool on like 3 if they full rotate topside, and then just ban for it and then counterpick support to give bot lane a good matchup. So then you guarantee Arcadius gets a win. There's a few things that can go. I probably would, just because you can pretty much pick Arcadius whatever he wants because he's done well in lane regardless of the matchup.
Yeah.
Even though he had a bad matchup last game, he still did well and got a lead, but like a very hefty lead. I think you just play for R5 top lane and just try to get him a good matchup, preferably a bruiser that can match inside lane.
Yeah. What about you, DBZ? What do you think that KMP needs to do?
Starter said it all. I mean, the big flag for me is just get a counter pick for that top lane matchup, or pick something that can match that split push. Is like at this point you kind of have to. You're forced into going to some kind of reverse sweep at this point into the game, anyways. So either you pick a strong top matchup, or you kind of just like don't and then just lose the game, unfortunately, and that would be the end of the night. Now, I have two feelings about it if we do end up getting a 3-0 for this. My first feeling would be, gosh darn it, Dirty, you were right again. And then my other feeling is, well, at least I can go get Taco Bell early. So there's that.
It's a win-win, no? Because then I'm right, you get Taco Bell.
I mean, it's a win all around, but they're getting into draft, so I will see you guys when draft is over.
Yeah, I think one thing that I didn't want to get into until we got into draft is the Ivern, right? We've seen it first pick both games, and it actually had a pretty high impact in both games. I'm curious to see if KMP4 decide to ban that instead of something else. They gave up the Zac ban last time around. Oh, well, did they? No, they banned it, but we saw Jinx banned on both sides, both blue and red. Leona banned. Jinx is still banned from Dorado Gaming. Leona ban's interesting. The Ziggs ban, there is the Ivern, so the Zac is up if they want it. I think it's a bit of a bait. They should go Maokai so then they don't get Poppy counterpicked. There's a lot of options. Yeah, there's a lot of options that KMP4 can go into this. But I mean, it's a pretty standard draft so far. I think they should just go jungle counterpick or just a decent jungler like Sejuani or something like that, and then go with your AD carry.
Yep, I definitely agree. So Maokai is going to be the first pick on the side of Dorado. From here, I do think you just 1-2 red on AD carry and I was gonna say AD carry and support, or do AD carry jungler. I guess you could if you wanted to. In this instance, I was about to say Jarvan's open. That's wrong. They go for the Nautilus pivot instead of Rakan, which is very interesting. Actually, I kind of get it. Nautilus is a very strong engage coming in that does potentially give the Rakan over, but then you'd be counterpicking yourself.
Yeah.
So that kind of forces Dorado to pick something else that's good as an engage support. Now, funny enough, I will say, I have seen Poppy support picked into Nautilus before.
Yeah, it's good. I think the biggest thing, though, for me is I think Rel is super good here. if they want it, or like an
Looks
wow,
like
okay.
the same thing.
If they do this, they have to go
engage.
Senna. They need an AD carry, or they need like a Tristana mid or something, or like a Jace. They need something that has threat on objective. Because if they go a similar style that they did last time, they won't be able to threaten cross map objectives with split push. So I hope they don't drop themselves in that pool again. They should keep the Seraphine pick as a flex and just counter pick support. They could go like an Alistar or something, or they could go like the Senna. You can't really pick Senna anymore because they have Nautilus. They're gonna go Rakan. That makes me think it's not Seraphine bot lane, because that really doesn't do too well. You kind of counterpicked yourself in support a little bit.
There's the Jax. Okay.
And yeah, there's Jax blind. Okay, I actually like this a lot. They should ban Jax counters, and then they can't pick Camille anymore, and Fiora's a skill matchup. I think this is a great adaptation. My only concern is you kind of pinch your jungle pool a little bit here, because you're going to get jungle bans thrown at you. There might be they kind of have to ban Sylas Dorado, because Sylas on 4 for Campy 4 is very strong. Even though it's Sylas blind, it's still, they have just 3 amazing ultimates for Sylas to steal. So they kind of have to go Orianna, Sylas ban, then Campy 4 maybe goes Syndra, and then we go from there. Fiora is still, Jax Fiora is a skill matchup. So then they don't have to ban Camille, because Jax is a Camille counter.
Interesting.
So they can't pick either of those things. I'm curious as to why they banned the Irelia, though, because it's a good matchup for Jax. Maybe just doesn't have the matchup knowledge specifically, but I think I would have liked an Aatrox ban better, or like potentially a Renekton ban or something like that. Something that Jax has a harder time into, or Garen maybe even.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And there's Sylas ban.
There's Sylas ban. Okay, yeah. That was the angle they were going for anyways in this instance. I think you do have still strong options. Syndra is open at the moment, assuming this isn't a Seraphine mid. Otherwise, Dorado will probably pick it in the next in their next picks that are coming up. So I think you kind of have to pick your mid laner here, I would say. So it's just there are a bunch of really strong.
They can go jungle actually. They can go jungle.
Okay, Zinzao.
They can go jungle and counter pick mid. Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to go with the counter pick onto mid in this instance. So that leaves Dorado with, like you mentioned, there are some options that they have open for the top side. You said not Jax Renekton. Renekton Aatrox are hard matchups for the Jax in particular.
Yeah,
I do imagine
as well, but it's a lot of AP.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely.
I actually like Garen a lot for Dorado.
Okay, yeah, Garen could be a potential good pick. He's one of those dark horse weird champions.
I like Garen a lot. I don't know if they'll play it. I think we've seen Massive play Garen before. I like it.
I think
they're gonna go Aatrox.
Okay. Yeah. So Aatrox will be the lock-in for that, and from here they're gonna pick either their mid laner or their AD carry. We'll just cut it in quotes at the moment.
I hope it's Seraphine mid. I really do. Because they need an ADC for objective damage. They need
or Trist mid. I think Trist.
Yeah, they can go Tristan. They need an AD carry somewhere. So they need either like Tristana mid, or they can go Kai'Sa here. I think Kai'Sa's pretty good. It's good with Rakan. It does a lot of objective damage. They can go Aphelios if they want to. There's a lot of options they have to go with Rakan. They're gonna wait till the last okay, they're gonna go Jace mid. That's pretty good. I like that actually. Okay.
You did mention that, you said that earlier in the draft that you would prefer something like that, whether it's an ADK or Jace in the mid lane. So this will open up a really strong poke comp, I would say, also as well, more or less. Nah, not really poke comp, because it's more just Jace's the poke, and then Seraphine just throwing crap out every now and then.
Seraphine has a pretty good poke, but
so and then Xerath being the potential answer into Jace, which I like that a lot actually, because that kind of keeps you away from the Jace. Unfortunately, it does open up you being your Jace getting free farm in the mid lane. Lissandra is good too to stop Maokai, Rakan, and Jace from kind of being able to do whatever they want.
I like Taliyah the most. But they did go with the Lissandra instead. The Lissandra helps with their peelback style. I think if they go Taliyah, their comp is very strong in kiteback, and they can play with Jackson side lane, and they have a lot of threat both in picks with Nautilus, Taliyah, Zinzao, and they can play that kiteback style with the Crescent Guard and using Taliyah E for spacing, especially since they're playing Rakan Jace. Taliyah is very good at spacing both of those champions off, and then their only engage is a Seraphine and a Maokai, but Lissandra's still a very good matchup in mid lane with the Jace.
Yep. All right. Well, Hyper, if you come back, what are your thoughts on this draft?
I love that KEKW'D came to play game number 3. Wow.
The adaptation's really good.
What a mix-up on the draft.
They all have the same icon.
They the mix-up on the draft just totally ignores everything. They're like, you know what? We are going to do it. We're going to hard send it, but we aren't going to let you ban any top laners. We're going to lock in our top laner, and then we're just going to ban every single counter that is gonna give me a hard matchup. And if you notice too, Darius and Aurelia not only, air quote counter the Jax, but they're also really like bad into their team because Darius runs down your team, and Aurelia, if she hits a nutty ultimate or a stun, she can get to your backline. So like I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. It's more of a dare, like I dare you to pick Camille again.
Yeah, I think, well, they can't pick Camille. Jax is Camille's worst matchup. They physically can't pick it. Now, I don't like the bans that they went for in top lane. Like I said, Dorado could have gone Garen, and then this Jax pick is completely useless. I think I mentioned it at some point last game during draft that they should have blind picked Jax for top lane because it counters most of his entire pool. I'm pretty sure I said that at some point.
I think so.
Someone can check the VOD, but I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, it counters most of his pool. I think Jackson Darius is completely fine for Jax. If you know how to play the matchup, it's actually winning for Jax. And again, Irelia is countered by Jax. So I don't like the top lane bans that they went for. It's more so like I'm not comfortable playing against these champions, more so like instead of these champions counter my champion. I think I would have liked it a lot if they banned Aatrox and Garen. I think if they ban those two champions, there's no answers that Massive has to go. He has to skill check top with the skill matchup. Now, Aatrox isn't a Jax counter, but if you don't know the matchup against Aatrox, you can just counter yourself if you don't use Counter-Strike at the right time. So it's not like an easy matchup, but it's not like a counter pick. But with how Massive plays it, I think banning it and like Malphite or something, but he's not going to pick Malphite. So, but that's like, yeah, I don't like the bans, but aside from that, I like KMP's draft. And again, I don't like the Seraphine, but they do have a Chase, which kind of fixes it for me. So.
This is going to be a very interesting game, I think. I'm looking forward to how KNP plays out this draft. I'm not even going to comment on Dorados because we've seen 2 games in a row that they, even with low damage comps, they played pretty well. But this not being a low damage comp.
This is not a low damage comp, yeah.
You have Aatrox and Jace on the other side, so woo, that's going to be something. But just overall...
They still don't have objective damage, though.
No, that is what I will say. They don't have that, but... I'm really liking the Lissandra pick, especially for KNP. Yeah. It's very good into stopping like whatever nonsense they try to do, whether it's with the W or the Frozen Tomb. Yeah. So it's just the Frozen Tomb creates so much space, and especially with Arcadius on this Xayah, it should open up him to kind of just free fire in some of these fights. I assume probably get another lead in bot lane just like last game because you're kind of just getting a free farm type of game going on. With the Nautilus kind of at his back as well, it kind of makes this little matchup between Seraphine and Rakan a little harder. I won't say much harder.
They actually have kill threat
a little harder. So looking forward to where that could go, and this could be a banger game 3.
This definitely could be a banger game 3. I do like the fact that they went for the Nautilus instead of the Rakan. This game. Just because it provides a lot more engage and you're not really relying on Jin Zhao to kind of like self-peel you in a sense. Like you have now a reliable form of engage with the ultimate from the Nautilus and with the Dredge line, giving Lissandra, in her claws, ability to go in or when becomes lightning. Jax can also ward hop in if you wanted to. So like I really like what KMP did for this draft. And I don't know, it looks to me both teams drafted 4 threat comps. Like you have the Xayah.
I mean, Dorado really only has 2. Yeah. Because Maokai Seraphine are not a threat. They're supportive champs. I'll tell you this right now. This is not a full AP Maokai. Now, Seraphine does a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong.
Does do a lot of damage.
They did nerf her, so she's not like a threat like she was before. Whereas KMP4 have a 4 threat comp. Lissandra does a lot of damage, especially if she goes Electrocute, and Xin Zhao is a Wind Zhao for a reason, and then Jax and Xayah. So you have 4 like genuine carry threats, and you also have a lot of engage as well with Xin Zhao, Lissandra, Nautilus. So KMP4's draft is a tried and true 4 threat comp, 4-1 stylistically as well with Jax in side lane. That's where he wants to be. And then Dorado Gaming is very much a sort of poke composition. They kind of want to kite back, play for Jace poke, and just like play for counter engage with Maokai Seraphine. They can also play engage if they want to, but it's very much Aatrox flanking and just trying to pick someone out with all the poke that you have.
Yep, and wow, this here we are. This could potentially be the last game of the night, or we could continue on now.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're hoping not Darter, but at least Hyper and I are hoping for more games.
Could be right, yeah.
Yeah, so you could be completely right, and that is what's happening. Now, are you sticking with your Mountain Soul prediction? Because it's been Mountain 2 games in a row.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, I should have known. So I would think that this game would be benefit as a hex tech for the side of Dorado, especially with him having a Jace. So I'm gonna go with hex tech. I'm going hex tech on this one.
I'm actually gonna go for Cloud Soul this time around.
Okay.
Just the inherent movement speed, and I think with Frozen Tomb and Xayah's Featherstorm just being off cooldown every other fight would kind of be disgusting.
Well, everyone, this could be it. Will Dorado Gaming close out this series, or are we gonna have a series on our hands with KMP coming through and taking this game off and taking us to game 4? We'll find out in about 35-40 minutes, so don't go anywhere. It actually doesn't matter because it's a hex tech and I was wrong.
Yeah, oh, it feels so good to not be wrong. And if it's Mountain next, I will be almost right.
No. Hyper was getting ready to bring us in, and then I checked the icon. I'm like, oh, nope, never mind. Dragon Pit is shade. What a way to potentially end the night, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Whoa, what a flash Vexarax. I see you.
Holy.
I mean, you got to make those plays at this point. I mean, just try to get any small advantage you can.
I mean, he's got Hex Flash on, so burning that flash early.
This is a positive trade.
Actually, a positive trade. You get the
take
flash
that any day of the week. Support flash for mid flash, always worth.
Oh, there's some damage going to be happening here. Good sidestep on the second Q. We'll just casually walk around and... Oh, he's actually going to back, interestingly.
He has enough time.
I mean, he can.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I don't think he needs to. I think passive regen gets him to full HP anyways, but...
Good heads-up play from Vexarax. I think the play there was land the hook, go follow up with the extra CC that comes on potentially. Actually, I'm going to click and see what... okay, so there is a chance that Lissandra... There is a chance that Lissandra was probably holding what ability she was going to start until that point went through, so that would have been just a nutty CC chain follow-up, and maybe he dies, but it just...
I mean, honestly, Vexarax's whole mindset, I get Tubbs flash.
Yeah, you just trade support flash or mid flash. You have hex flash, it's always good, right?
But I feel like that's what the play was, is like, if I hit this, awesome, but I hope I get the flash.
Yeah, and like it's a Nautilus flash. It's not like you're playing like a mage support or like an enchanter where your flash matters a lot.
Yeah.
You're playing something where you can just afford to trade flashes like that.
Oh, holy Spartan, holy level 1 trade.
It's Jack's level 1, best level 1 in the game.
Sweet spots like a pro.
Best level 1 in the game.
Why wasn't he playing this before? I don't know. I don't mean to be rude, but like... This is a really good start for him this game so far.
I mean, yeah, Jax has the best level 1 in the game out of any top laner, and Aatrox can't do anything because he's melee range, so Aatrox physically cannot hit the first 2 Qs because he doesn't have E.
Oh, man.
So, what is that Aatrox skin? I've never seen that.
It's DRX Aatrox.
Yeah. The new one.
I think that's what
Nautilus just walking up here. I think they were going to try to get his W out to kind of go for the follow-up hook. I think that was the plan. But it looks like we have level 3 ticking over to the Jax, so he's not going to choose to fight the Will back off after taking some damage from that cube. That's damage. Maokai is on his way up there. Okay, that was a good blade color. But he will see the Maokai up here. We'll just fall back to the minions, and
nice flash! From KEKW'D right there, a flash to follow from Holy Spartan. Did use that war jump to get to the minions, but a really nice hex flash coming out from Vexarax. Unlucky that 17 kind of slips through the rest of that CC damage.
One more hook will kill him.
Because look at Arcadius. He's just walking him down by right-clicking.
Okay.
I'm really shocked 17 health flash.
Yeah, I mean, but I think just understands the damage that Zaya doesn't have any right now. But I was kind of waiting on, I was like counting in my head the Nautilus hook timer. I'm like, if he makes it to the tower, they won't go for it.
But 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds. So no flash on the Jax as we're back up here on the top side. We'll go for this fight. Oh, 13 hits. That's huge.
Channeling that. Jumps into the mid lane, but right now we're at the top lane because flash forward from Massive. Holy Spartan is going to get taken down. Meanwhile, back over to the river. KEKW'D is going to stop Grant Torino in his tracks. Unfortunately, they don't. Oh, they do find a dredge line. Really nice damage right there. Kento is going to be able to take a little bit of damage, but they almost find a pick off onto Tough right there in the mid lane.
Do we say that was potential grief in Holy Spartan? Never mind, hold up.
Entrance and a flash to follow through the Ignite ticking away. But Tough's got to be really careful because he does not have any mana. Dredge line does land for Vexarax, but 17 can just easily zip over to his teammate and be free.
Yeah,
I think that's... No, I think it's not knowing the matchup.
Gotcha.
Because if you know the matchup, there's no way he goes for that. Because Aatrox can always Q buffer your Counter-Strike.
Okay. That makes
so, like, he just casts Q during your E. Even if you stun him, he still gets the damage off, and then he can W after and guarantee W with Q1 again. And since it's Aatrox post level 4, his Q's are short enough for him to do that. But, yeah.
It's like that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You can always Q buffer it. So the only way he goes for that is if he doesn't know the matchup, or he thinks Massive doesn't know he can do that.
Now, what are we feeling in terms of the Aatrox build? Are we feeling Eclipse, or are we thinking what Zeus did on Dustblade?
Yeah,
I think he's going Dustblade.
Oh, he should. He got an early kill. He can just super hard pressure Jax with Dustblade. He won't be able to win 1v1 anymore.
Yeah, just wondering what you guys thought the call was, so we're in agreement because I was thinking Duskblade as well. So oh wait, hold on, there's like a Hex Flash being channeled.
Man, Vexarax with these Hex Flashes landing almost everything every single time. A Grand Entrance coming from 17. Arcadius' feathers are not in the most optimal position for that Blade Caller for the follow-up CC.
Wasn't ready.
Yeah, also he probably wasn't ready.
Yeah, he's too far away to get the auto to get the Q auto E pullback, which we've seen him do a lot of times. He just wasn't close enough to really get it, so just gets a little bit of poke and ends up being a negative trade because you are playing against Seraphine Rakan, which has a ton of sustain in lane.
Yep. And we're looking pretty low on the mana department on the Nautilus, so I don't anticipate they'll go for something super aggressive. Nice. As I say that, actually.
Blade Caller.
Oh.
Q and Ghosts.
Maybe that was supposed to be a flash prediction, which is interesting. I do gotta say, also, Arcadius does not have as large of a lead as he did in the last game, only up like barely 10 gold. So not that start that we were hoping for in the last game, especially against a lane like this. So it is gonna probably require some jungle help. But they do see Zinzel up here on the top side as we kind of flip over. Ooh, now with World Ender and Maokai's here too.
Yeah,
Maokai has made his way here, but KEKW'D does not have Nature's Grass available. He's only level 4.
They're fighting this.
World Ender does go through. A Q2 and a Q3 do land. Holy Spartan's forced to get out of there. Gran Torino is now forced to fight a dash forward from KEKW'D and knock back as well. The spear damage is a little bit, but not enough. KEKW'D's leveling up to level 5. That Q1 lands. A nice flash from Gran Torino to get out of there. Oh, they went for a kill, but look at the river, because here comes Jace. He's looking for Gran Torino is in full retreat. Don't know if he's going to be able to get out of there. He does not. And it looks like KEKW'D claims the kill. A really nice charge. What is that ability?
Accelerated Shock Blast?
Yeah. Okay, Shock Blast. Accelerated Shock Blast. Thank you.
Oh, all good, all good. Rakan will cover this mid lane at the midst of all that with the TP being burned on the Jason as well. So Lissandra is going to be forced to stay here. Just could not answer that top play without having TP. So really heads up play to go for that play on the side of Dorado.
So bad for top lane.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking at the CS gap right now. It's almost 30, 1,100 gold in the lead.
2 waves. At least one. So he'll be like, if he catches every single one of these remaining minions, if we can look at top wave real quick, he'll be like 35 CS if he gets every single one of these, because he missed like at least a full wave. So yeah, he's down a lot.
Yeah, and it looks like we're pinging Aatrox R and Flash, so it looks like they're gonna make another play up on the top side again. So we should expect to see Maokai go back up there in a little bit, maybe after we fight over this Drake potentially, because we got a lot of movement happening around on that side of the map. It does look like they're actually gonna go for it. Flash is up in Rakan.
Yeah, but Grand Entrance is available, just doing a little bit of poke damage to try to get that ward cleared, but they do leave it again. Gran Torino looking like he wanted to start that Drake, but
Okay, might hit 6 off drugs here.
He's 2 levels down.
Yeah, he can't really fight any of
this. It's so unplayable.
Yeah, that's just unlucky. It's just kind of it's a little heartbreaking, I would say.
Arcadius not getting hit by that, but a Blade Caller finds Jason, sticks him in one position. How close is Vex? How close is Vexarax to level 6?
He's like 1 wave. Yeah,
2.
It's like after all of these minions.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, this is a bad wave. You're right. So it looks like they're gonna go ahead and back off, try to farm this up. I imagine hit his 6. So Drake was left alone. Rift Herald is up on the other side of the map, but I think we're gonna see a dive here in a second.
They're gonna dive him. Nature's Grass coming in from downtown. Holy Spartan's health bar is already dangerously low. They probably didn't even need Maokai to roam up here, but they get the kill regardless. 2-0 for the top lane.
The Nature's Grasp just secures the kill, makes it the easiest dive you'll ever see, and that will get them the top tower, or at least a lot of damage onto it. If he wants to, Massive could proxy this next wave, and then they could go take Herald. There is a TP coming through for Holy Spartan now, though, so we'll just go into this river. And also, topside gonna get counter jungled by KEKW'D.
Yeah,
so he is down quite a lot, actually, in terms of camps, because he does have his full top set up.
I mean, but you're okay with that. The Homeboy's been getting pressure all over the map, so you're not entirely complaining too much about it. As long as this Aatrox continues to stay ahead. I think it'll just end up being
should be their dragon.
Okay. But yeah, this will be the Hex Check Drake going over about 10 minutes into the game. So right now, 1.5 gold lead, actually almost 2k gold lead as I'm saying that. Now it is basically 2k, so thank you for that one, Dorado. So up 2k gold, this first Drake will go over, which it's not an early Drake per se. Oh, we're fighting this, aren't we?
Nice Rude coming out from Kano and a Frozen Tomb to follow the ultimate, followed up by Vexrax. Forcing the flash out of Tough, the Ignite taking away his health bar dangerously low. And then meanwhile, KP just pick up the Drake, a flash forward from Kano, and they came claim the kill.
He's so greedy for that. I can't believe he went for that wave.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we ult before we full combo, because it gives us bonus AD.
Yeah, that is the message that Darter has been saying the entirety of the split.
Yep.
In case you're wondering, I have been keeping track. Yes.
Yep.
So just this top lane matchup, it is absolutely donezo up here.
Should Herald mid.
There's just no way. Yeah, I wouldn't even herald it up here either. I would leave the tower up so that way it keeps Aatrox up
Make
here, so that way
this
it forces
lane
Jax to
state
stay.
go as long as possible, honestly.
Pretty much. One more plate? Nope.
We'll get it next wave. I mean, like, he's up 50 CS nearly. It
will be after this wave.
Well, Jax will catch some of these minions, hopefully. This
2 levels as well, not to
yeah, it's
I
just
couldn't think of the words I
completely,
wanted
top
right
lane's just over. I mean, it just is what it is. After that first solo kill in the top lane, and then on top of that, they go overextend for that gank, and they end up like losing all of their summoners and a bunch of
that's range on the dredge line. The Blake Holler to follow up, but the quick stance.
Here comes Aatrox.
Featherstorm Arcadius picks up that kill. The Encore not going to be able to go through, but here comes Massive with a TP down here in the bot lane.
Oh my god.
But they cannot him. He is just too massive. Gran Torino's going to be the target, forced to flash out of that one. Tough Daddy finds his way into the river right there. Vexrax going to give that respect on the flash so that they don't have any follow-up. They get the pick onto the ADC and they get out of there.
I agree. It looks like he's actually not. He's going to go ahead and go top. So Holy Spartan on the plus side will get a play out of this. Probably with enough time, might get a second one with this next wave. It's gonna be close, but oh, you're going for this. Oh, I respect it. Okay, Tenno, I respect it.
I respect the movement, yeah.
It does look like that Jax will not get that second play. We'll have to back off as Aatrox is getting there.
He has to back off.
Oh man, when that Dust Blade damage becomes Edge of Night or Humble Glaive as well, this Aatrox is gonna be stupid. I'm not excited to see the damage that he's going to
And then hoggling over to the gold real fast. Kano going forward, he's going to use that root, and that is just an easy kill right there in the mid lane, and a nice play caller. That dredge line is one with Apex right there in the river. Really clean lands coming from Arcadius, and he's just focusing his damage, trying to kick off the ADC. It unfortunately doesn't get it. With that Blade Caller right there at the end of that play, stops them in their tracks. A nice TP coming out.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh my god.
They do. Aatrox gets the tower in the top lane. Then they manage to get a kill onto the mid laner, and the mid laner finds a kill from the depths of despair as well. Ignite taking it down. Wind becomes lightning, wind becomes death, and Tough Daddy has no choice but to see his team members fall.
Oh boy.
Really well timed Crescent Guard to cancel the Q by Gran Torino there, so he doesn't end up dying. That top lane tower does end up going, so that's all plates solo for Massive taken is still up. 60 CS nearly. You missed one? Did you get the tower on the last one? Okay. No, he would have gotten all of them.
No, he missed one. So as he was basing, he missed the first plate.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. The one from
earlier. He missed a plate.
He's also 3,000 gold ahead, by the way, in case anyone is checking. Sitting on 1,700, probably going to get another dirt.
He is their gold difference.
Yeah, no, he is.
I'm curious to see what his second item is.
I really think it's either going to be Shojin.
I think that's a black spear, right?
Spear? Yeah, it's Shojin. Yeah.
It's either Shojin or Cleaver. I think Shojin's better.
I think it's honestly better in this instance. I mean, everyone on the other team is Squishy, Bear, and Nautilus. So at this point, just kind of do as much DPS as you can, and with the Spear Shojin, that will definitely open up my man's the Q spam every, half a second. I'm exaggerating the number, but that's basically what it feels like.
It's close
Rift Herald will be summoned here in the mid lane as we're 34 seconds away from this next Drake. It's gonna be interesting, I think.
I don't think they're gonna be able to stop the charge, though.
Oh yeah, they are.
They do. Wow.
That is what I call an LPL Rift Herald, where you do not place it near the tower. God.
Or just as the
I mean, they
waves
should have
coming to
heralded
stop
mid
it.
earlier when plates were still up, but they waited a little bit too long for it and ended up getting absolutely nothing off of it. Massive now walking down for fun. As top wave is pushed in very far.
They're giving up all this control also near the dragon.
They have to.
They're rotating top side. I mean, they
Yeah,
really
they have no
fight.
idea where Massive is.
They're posturing. Oh, there we go. Vexrax probably dies here. Vexrax goes over.
Yeah, I think he is gonna do it too because Massive does use his dash to get over the top of that wall, but
lives.
luckily he does survive.
Oh, is he okay? Yeah, Radiant Virtue. So it is a Chemtech. So looks like all of us are wrong.
Close.
Feels good to be wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of glad it was not a Mountain Soul again, because that'd be boring. And Chemtech Soul is very, very strong on Aatrox.
Yes, so, it is. So this is a very,
we'll
very
see
good
if they end
them.
up getting it, because it is 1 Drake to 1.
I think if they keep it this tempo that they have right now at the moment, especially with Aatrox being where he is in the state of the game at the moment, as far ahead as he is, and kind of just keeping this pressure up on the top side, Jax will never be able to join any sort of like team fights that are coming through, and it'll just kind of open the door for Jace to kind of free fire on this back team. This should be his Duskblade done too, as well as he's backing right now. Yep, okay, Duskblade is done, and Merc Treads as well. So
Radiant also finished for K-Peps there as well. So item spikes coming in just in time here for this next Herald spawn, which they can very easily pressure, as we know this top lane it has quite the lead. It's actually taking Gromp now as well. Massive's just getting a bunch of gold. I think he's trying to get gold for his item. He has 1k inventory right now. So we'll see what
most of Shojin's done? No, it has a BF sword in it,
He doesn't
right?
have enough for BF.
Oh,
he's
Black
Cleaver.
Cleaver.
Okay.
Okay, I like that better. Yeah.
It's better than Spear on Aatrox, to be honest. Like, he doesn't auto that much to really make use of it, so... And plus, any armor that Jax builds is just going to be completely useless in the 1v1.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. But looks
We're
like
having Jace match now, which is nice.
No one is really posturing up towards this Herald at the moment. We're kind of just like nay-ramming just to kind of keep a little bit of a push going on.
Trying to get top push. They need mid push first as well before Dorado wants to pressure. Massive trying to put threat on this bot lane tower to get them to over-rotate. We'll be able to spot out Sins out here soon.
I think he already did.
Yeah, so now they're starting up Herald. Yep.
Nice. All right. Wow. And you're right on the nose with that one there. They are not going to over-rotate. It looks like they are going to keep Senzo down there. They're probably aware of this. Never mind. They're going to go for it.
Oh, they're going to go for it. Jumping right onto Massive. A nice frozen tune to stop Massive in his tracks, but that World Ender giving him a lot of damage and sustain healing a flash forward, but the wind becomes lightning, gets him back. Handle flash forward.
No.
Does die in the process, but a nice Gorge Reader to get his health bar.
Jace.
Right back up, a nice Blade Caller, and a shutdown going over to Arcadian.
A lot of goals, but I think they're dead.
A nice TP coming in.
Feather TP from Jax.
To make sure that DPS does not stick to him. A TP coming out from Holy Spark to join this fight. Vexrax look for Tough Daddy, and that lollipop on that dredge line does go through. And 17 is going to fall as well. Nature's Grasp from downtown. Not going to be able to find anybody. Looked like Gran Torino was trying to do something with his spear right there. But they drop Herald there in the mid lane. They get that mid lane turret. But all in all, I say that goes in favor of KMP.
Yeah, no, 100%. That shutdown going over to Arcadius, plus the follow-up kill that happened onto the Recon after that, and just having a ton of gold. Looks like we'll be speed rushing towards that the quick blade, I would assume. It looked weird at the start of it because it's like, well, Lysandra just got blown up, and you thought it would kind of continue from there, but just the follow-up damage coming out from KMP just gives that extra bit of momentum, I think, that they need to stay in this
I'm surprised Seraphine didn't TP earlier.
And I was gonna say that too. Is Seraphine TP to that fight near the end of it? So it's very interesting, and that TP timer being down, maybe they can do something off of that.
Yeah, they didn't need her for Herald whatsoever. She could have very easily TP'd to bot wave, like at the very beginning of that play. And then if she's there with Aatrox, they win that 2v4.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because the Seraphine ult is probably going to hit all of them, and then it's just
Seraphine ult plus empowered W, that guy's not dying.
Yeah, it's actually just Jover, but it is what it is. I mean, the gold lead is now about 1,500 in favor of Dorado after that whole little exchange. So KNP showing some signs of life in this series, and I'm really hoping that they can keep this up as the game goes on from here. To kind of
team might be cut.
Okay, he's fine. But I want them to show us like why they were the first seed in Group B. Oh, we're fighting.
Oh, Vexrax finds Jason kind of just meandering right there in the jungle.
Interesting. But I want I do
like the fact that Keno is matching Massive because of the fact that his wave clear is good.
And I just need KMP to show us why they were the first seed in the other division. And so far, I won't say they haven't been showing us because they've been showing us very good moments, and yeah, their bot lane especially. But it's just the rest of not the rest of the team, but it's just they need to like come online as a unit, and then this is going to be very competitive as it goes on. But Drake is up in 2 seconds. Looks like they do have the positioning on the side of Dorado. So yeah, this should be free. I mean,
I don't know if they are going to be able to contest this. I like what they're doing though. They're prioritizing trying to get that mid lane.
I see Aatrox in top lane. They're pinging on this mid lane tower. They're not trying to get it down, but they're walking back up top side, and they are just going to give this fully.
Interesting. I thought they would have went for mid lane on that one, especially to kind of open up the map a little more. And I was thinking maybe also with this wild idea that they were gonna try to do Baron.
Oh no! With Aatrox on the map, they no business.
Yeah, no, they can't.
It.
I feel like Xayah might need another half of an item before they even consider doing that, especially with Aatrox being where he is.
Yeah, she needs baby LDR. If she gets a Last Whisper, I think it's, or like even a Vamp Scepter, depending on what item she wants to go. I think she should go LDR third here though. I think if she gets a Last Whisper, I think it's very easy. It's much easier because no one really has a lot of armor, so you'd be doing mostly true damage at that point. But even with these two items, this Xayah does a lot of damage, especially since this Aatrox really doesn't have a lot in the way of resistances, just a little bit of HP because of Black Cleaver, and aside from that, doesn't have a whole lot. So Arcadius can do a lot of work in these fights if they have the right angle. I mean, we saw it in that bot lane play, so we just need to be able to set him up.
Really hoping, but looks like we're just gonna clear vision. And being unless these two get caught here. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it looks like Vexrax might get caught here. The grand entrance is not gonna fall. The dredge line's getting him out of there. Encore getting members right there. And unfortunately, this is not the fight that KMP wanted. A really nice rotation from Tough right there, going from bot lane to mid lane to stop Xayah from doing anything else. And they can just take Baron for free.
Yeah, not only that, he doesn't really mind if Jax gets a few extra CS in bot lane. They need this mid push to be able to actually threaten this objective. And like I said, they don't have any damage for this, so they need to 5-ban it, which they are now. There is still an angle to counter this, though.
I mean, 17's going in with the Christmas, does find the charm and the grand entrance, and it looks like Gran Torino is going to be the target. When it becomes lightning, they do find the mid laner, but Massive is now got to reset. Holy Spartan's
going in,
channeling that counter strike, a nice feather storm right there, a nice blade caller as well, and they're finding the damage that they need. But here comes Massive trying to display them. The Claws go forward. Holy Spartan jump on to Tough Daddy, but unfortunately, Massive just does too much damage. Arcadius' health bar ticking down very slowly, but that red buff keeping him in the fight. Holy Spartan now the target, channeling that counter strike, does find the stun. Hex Flash getting channeled by Vexrax. They find the dredge line, they find the hook, and a shutdown going over to Holy Spartan. That is the fight and the re-engage that KMP was looking for this game number 3.
Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but that's not how you want the goal to go.
I'm trying to like rationalize, because like the beginning of that fight, you know, it looked good, but
they
unfortunately
just so hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say they overcommitted at the end of it, and it just got disconnected. It just ended weird. But now the gold is even. Here we are, 24 minutes in. The score 9-11 at the moment, and just
the gold may be even, but you aren't feeling great that the bounties went over to Jax, because now Jax has a shutdown and he's still 2,000 gold behind. So now, if Aatrox matches Jax, he gets 450 gold and is still miles ahead of this Jax. He's still a full item and a half ahead. Although Jax is sitting on 3k gold, hasn't based yet for some reason. So once Jax bases, he'll be 1 item behind or half an item behind. But still, like I said, in this 1v1, even against Jace, he's not ahead in gold because, well, he's sitting on 3k, but it will be even with this Jace now after those items. But you really wanted that gold to go on to Lissandra or Xayah especially Arcadius, because he's the one who's doing a lot of work in these fights, and Holy Spartan really is only going to be looking for TP flanks off of side lanes. So without TP, this gold doesn't really do too much, because Massive wants to match him, and he's still going to be winning that 1v1.
Yeah.
I do want to point attention to the Drake timer. Less than a minute to go, and this will be sole point if Dorado does get it.
Yeah, he's still a full item up.
The Sherald is just finished right now as well. So this is going to be a really interesting fight coming. This will be sole point for Dorado if they secure this. I'm really wondering how this next fight's gonna play out, because if Lissandra is near and her passive starts going off, that is something that could very heavily turn the fight in favor of KNP. Oh, never mind, we're fighting right now.
You find an engage, and a TP coming out from Lissandra from the base to put this in the grand entrance, but a really nice feather storm to stop most of that CC. Still charmed, and a blade clawer is so massive. They are able to at least get a lot of that health bar reduced from that.
No damage.
A double kill going over to him. Here comes Tough Daddy on the back line, and it looks like Holy Spartan has found the damage he needed, but not the damage he wanted. They get one, but they get aced in return.
Yeah, that's why I said you don't want Jax to get the shutdown. Because he's not going to do anything in these fights. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the ability to play these fights very well. I mean, we saw it there. Even though Aatrox did an immense amount of damage with 1Q3, you blow all of your cooldowns to lock him down, but you have nothing left to kill Seraphine, and Tough Daddy wasn't even there for the beginning of that fight. It was a 4v5. They win that. Tough Daddy shows up. They nearly clean ace the Massive, the one to die, and then they will get Baron off the back of that. Now, thankfully, 4K and before Aatrox doesn't have it, but still not looking to be pretty for them as they're TPing now for this sole point.
Oh man, and also the fact that Xayah died pretty much instantly in that fight as well. No flash, and that's exactly what they were like using that for. Is Xayah doesn't have flash, so we have to go right now, even though they engaged on us, and they just played that super well. So bot tower does fall. They do not have prio for this Drake on the side of KNP, but we're gonna have another 5v5. So Hyper, I hope you're ready, buddy.
I am ready. Here comes the team fight that we all wanted, and it looks like it's going in favor of Dorado Gaming at the moment. Very low, 3-man charm from that Encore, and it just goes all downhill from here. Arcadius cannot peel back fast enough, and it is gonna be another ace at 27 minutes of the game. Back, objective Baron, objective Drake, and it looks like next objective game.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's full HP, by the way. Nobody took any damage.
That was kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie, but Dorado is historically like the most dominant team in Unstoppable, I will say. We've seen multiple iterations of this team, and every single time they just come through and just absolutely show why they are the best in this league. And this is Iota this time, so they're looking to add another championship to their pool, and they might do it in this push. Oh, they're backing up. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the respawn timers are up. They have no gas left in the tank. A lot of gold in their pockets, to be fair. Most of this gold lead is in inventory. A lot of them are sitting on nearly 2K. So that'll do a lot. The Grudge now completed for Jace. And might be nearly a death cap for Seraphine. This is 2.6K in inventory. It will be a Rylai's actually. Very good purchase. I'm curious to see what Aatrox's next item.
It's not Black Cleaver. It looks like it could. What the heck?
Probably Death's Dance, if I had to imagine.
That with Phage, right?
I think it's
Sterix.
What is it? What's it going? Sterix Gauge?
Oh! Yeah, Sterix. That could be
Sterix, yeah.
Yep, there it is. Okay, that figures. So, this extra beef to stay on the front line. Xayah does not have cleanse, and they are currently pinging that, which means this next fight, they will 100% target the Xayah. She does flash, though, so that is a little bit of extra safety, potentially, but just all in all, just 7,000 gold. I thought Tenno was caught here, but it's 7,000 gold and Dorado in firm control, I will say. So assuming this game goes on for another 3.5 minutes for this next Baron or this next Drake that's coming up in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. It's 3 minutes and 38. I tried to be, if I could be cheeky with it, but nope.
Yeah.
They will continue to push this advantage on the map. Try to open up this bot lane tier 2. Aatrox, someone has to answer this man, but hold on a second.
I mean, someone does have to answer him, and an Encore is only going to hit one member, but man, that Lissandra is wiped off the face of the earth. Brent Reno is the next target. That's a double kill going over to Tough Daddy, and it's massive. It's the World Ender. He is in the face of all of KNP4. Nice Feather Storm to get out of smoke of that CC, but the damage is still there. A really nice flash. The Blade Caller hits 3 members, but it does not matter because you are looking at the potential and the actual champions of Unstoppable. It is massive. K-Pep, Tough Daddy, Jason, and K-Pep. They are not going to go down. Another ace. 3 back-to-back, and that is game. That is series. You are looking at your Winter Split final 2023 Unstoppable champions, Dorado Gaming Iota.
All right. Well, yep, that about
I was right.
Yeah, Darter was right. So but I mean, I shouldn't be entirely surprised.
Oh
Every
my God,
iteration of Dorado has been just so my God.
You saw it too, yeah. To be fair, Arcadius did a lot as well, but just not.
Yeah.
You just can't play in these fights. He gets hit by one ability, and he's absolutely one shot. 33,000 for Aatrox.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo,
Yeah,
all right, so
to,
this is 3 times I think this split, last split, and the split that BU and Swift casted. I think Darter. I think they won that one too.
They did, yeah.
So 3 splits that they have won in a row. Of them, definitely one of the most dominant teams that we have ever seen in Risen Unstoppable, and they're not looking at stopping anytime soon. And I gotta,
I'm gonna go ahead and jump down to the other call and let them know we're bringing them all up. So continue.
Yeah, bring them all. If their coach is in there too, bring the coach up too. Screw it. Let's
get the whole party in here.
All right.
But this damage graph is just,
it's sickening.
Yeah, I know. I said it in game, but when those shutdowns went over to Jax, I knew the game was over. They had to get that gold onto Tenno or Arcadius to even have a shot at this game with how fed the Aatrox was. But when Jax gets the bounty, he's already so far behind. It's not enough to bring him back into it. And I mean, when you have a 10 and 3 Aatrox with Duskblade, everyone's one shot. So.
Everyone is just doomed. I mean,
everybody's one shot.
We saw Zayas do the same thing against LNG, and it just kind of emulated that. So props to Massive for popping off in that game with that Aatrox
push extraordinaire.
Yeah, split push extraordinaire that we've seen pretty much every single series, and looks like we have the entirety of Dorado Gaming in the lobby with us now. So, congrats, lads! 3 in a row. I gotta say, Dorado as an organization is kind of insane. So, congrats from us, and kind of go through one by one how you're all feeling after you won that series.
Let's start at the top lane, work our way down. Actually, no, let's start with coach and then top lane and work our way down.
Gotcha.
All right. All right, coach man. So I specifically want to talk about game 3's draft. So they opt up for red side rather than sticking to the blue side, but then they lock in Jax on that R3. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I knew that they had been prepping some Jax play. I know that he's played it quite a few times, especially in combination with Xin.
Yep.
I wasn't really expecting them to take it and not just like double ban what our most common answers would be.
Yep.
Kind of caught me off guard.
Yep.
I even thought that they would even take potentially Silas on 3 because we had Maokai and Seraphine, but I was like, oh, okay, you just want to get 3-0'd, I guess. Shit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Swinging for the fences with that one.
Love it.
Freak, what you got?
So I always ask this question every time, especially at the end of series like this, is what were the comms like during and after that last team fight, if I may ask? Because I imagine it got pretty chaotic, so we can kind of just go ahead and go through the team as like what you guys were like yelling about, and like whether it was just mostly cheering at the end of it or just whatever have you.
For me, I was kind of just calling my TP, like yelling that I'm TPing in and that the fight is winning because they just overextended way too far on Seraphine. You know, like we kind of knew that was their play because we saw them setting up for it, and like they just had to look for something desperate, right? And we were just like calling our targets, and everybody got excited after we won.
Anyone else? No.
I mean, Freak, you got to call out one person in particular so they can
right,
answer.
We
got six dudes in here right now.
Jungler next. Let's go with K-Peps then. K-Peps, go ahead. What was going on your end in that last team fight?
In my end, I was just distracted by my ADC's beautiful voice as he was singing the entire time. He when he plays champions, he really has to like get the personality in himself so that way he can feel it. And he's just He's Seraphine. He channels that energy. He's got a lot of the Seraphine energy himself.
Man, I'm so pretty.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear.
What about you, Tough?
I mean, honestly, I was pretty quiet because it was like surreal that like my little curse of 3 finals losses in a row is over. So I was just like, it's finally done. It's fun.
All right. Jason, what about you?
I mean, look, first of all, I'm not the starting ADC for this roster. That
No, you're not.
honor goes out to Corey JJ, my
Yes.
goat. If he is listening to this, I hope he's watching. You know, this one's for you. Everyone here did it for you. So that's a group message. I think I can represent all of us and say,
Yeah, we love you, Corey.
me personally, you know, since I was one of the reasons why Tough didn't get one of those chips, I gotta get it back to him. I gotta repay him the favor. I gotta go off roll. I gotta go on the Kitten Champs. I gotta demonstrate that I'm not washed up, and I gotta deliver Dorado Gaming this championship.
So was that your idea to switch off the Ashe and onto the Seraphine? You got to support the boys that hard. You're like, let me go Seraphine. I got you. You guys carry this one. I'll bring it home.
Oh no. Oh no, it's bot gap all 3 games. Like we're killing them. Like all I'm saying is like I'm a mid laner, but I think because of like scheduling stuff, like you know, this is not my first finals playing off role. Mason knows that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, no more Larry Bart this time. You know, it's Jason Seraphine 5. I'm ready to deliver for the team, be a team player, and most importantly, get my brother Tough, get my brother Corey, get them those chips.
All right. What about you, 17? How was those last few team fights for you?
It was actually kind of relaxing, not gonna lie. All I hear was Seraphine on team. I'm like, wait, what's going on over there? And I see they were getting jumped, not saying a word. So I was like, whatever. It was pretty fun though. Near the end, very unintelligible screaming though.
Darter, what do you got? What do you got for everybody?
A lot of the games that we've seen from you guys have been a lot about side lane and top lane with Mason on these split pushers. Is that how did you guys come to the decision to play that sort of 4-1 style? Was it just something that you're more comfortable with, or did you find it through a few scrims and some practice?
I think Ace should take that question.
Well, initially when we formed, we were trying different things. We were trying to play the scaling route. We were trying to play the early game route, trying to play the dive route, trying to see what worked. What worked was essentially this. So we're like, okay, well, if we're gonna win with this, we might as well get good at it. And well, hey, it's taken some learning from myself as well as everybody here.
That's really good. That shows just how good you guys are at adapting, especially. And it also, at all the games that we casted for you guys, no one really had an answer for that.
I guess Camille's just OP or what?
I guess. I mean, it's something that let's say, you know, if you guys stay together, if that kind of goes into next year, kind of keeping up that style, and maybe people have answers, but also one thing we got to consider for next year is really big item changes coming in, because we're not going to have mythics anymore. So whether that will change things, we'll have to wait and see. But it was a lot of fun watching you guys and casting whatever games we guys had with you, and just it's always a pleasure watching Dorado games. So it's fun, and I know Koyesh might be in the chat, so that was homeboy who got you guys your championship last split, Mr. Support Goat in the bot lane.
He clears Justin.
Hey, he's good, bro. He's good. No disrespect. No disrespect.
Justin's name, bro.
My bad, Justin.
All right, boys. You got anything else?
Darter?
Nothing from me.
No,
you got anything? You're good?
Nope, I don't got anything else. Just congrats once again on the 3-0, and you are our risen unstoppable champions. So
and that's really all I had to ask was as well. But thank you guys for joining us here post game. Got to listen to all you guys, coach included. Go ahead, enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Also, special thanks for the level 1 handshake you guys did. Really meant a lot for me. And I mean, that's all we got. Go ahead and be free. You guys are the unstoppable champions here for the last split 2023.
Yeah, and speaking of last split, man, I mean that's also realistically the end of us too for this year, and it's been
It'll
pretty
be a while,
big
yeah.
split. Yeah, I don't think we're coming back till January or
February.
something like that.
It's a few months at least.
Wow, I mean,
because the end of this ranked split is January 3rd for those that don't know.
Okay.
And then the next split start for ranked is January 9th. So I'm almost certain that the next splits for us will be in come February. So
wow. Okay, so it's gonna be a hot while before y'all see us again. And actually, and by us, I mean me and Darter, because someone
I was gonna get. So
I'm
this
disappointed in you. I am.
This do be my last split for a little bit. I am gonna be moving cross country. So when the split picks up,
cross country across half the ocean.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you're going a little further than a few time zones.
So yeah, I'm gonna be moving to Hawaii. And January, the first half of the January, I got stuff to do over in Pennsylvania. I got training to do there. And then middle of February, I got to get my house packed up. And then from there till March, before I'm going to be hanging out with my family over in Texas. And then I'm moving in March. So I won't be back until the split before MSI.
Yeah.
Spring.
Yeah, I'll be back for the spring split.
Because I think we're calling the first one winter. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But hey. It's either spring or summer, whichever one is. I mean, I'd be weird to call it summer because it's like April to June.
Yeah, well, it's summer down here in Texas, so
I mean, but it's summer all year round. I mean, come on.
Yeah, let's be honest. You get summer and fall.
It's like summer and then slightly cooler summer.
You get it's fall. We'll call it fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah,
I won't be back until about April timeframe, guys.
It's gonna suck because like we hang out like almost every single night, like when we can. Like now I get to not hear from you for 3 months again.
I mean, you'll hear from me in February from time to time.
Yeah, for sure.
The first
by time to time, it's like once every 2 weeks.
This has been a ride. You guys. This has been an absolute ride.
Darter, any words?
All I got is I'm gonna miss you casting. It'll just be DBZ and I, and then play-by-play that will be announced obviously when we show up in next split. But at least us two will be here to have some fun without you because you're leaving us. I just want to thank everybody for sticking with us throughout the whole split. It's been a really good time. I know all three of us have had a great time casting this one. We've had some great games on cast. We're thankful that we've had mostly, except for playoffs, have had full series throughout at least the regular season.
Yeah. DBC, a lot of them were definitely 2-1s, except near the end. Then it started becoming 2-0s.
At the end, it started getting 2-0s.
But just God, we're really at the end, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it feels weird.
Any final words?
I mean, I'm gonna miss everyone at Risen for the next couple of months, unless we decide to do something weird like that fundraiser we did last year. That was fun. So that's an idea that can probably be thrown out there. I will do that G Fuel thing again, where I had to chug G Fuel every time someone donated a certain amount of money. So
all right then.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
Yet.
Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there. And as for me, I know I always enjoy casting. I enjoy casting with you guys specifically. I'm casting here for Risen. You guys are much loved. Appreciate everybody for sticking around for the entire split if you have, and multiple splits this whole year as well. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys saying happy birthday at the beginning of the stream. Meant a lot too. And that's all I got for me. If you guys are good, I'll send us home, and that's that.
Until January or February, whatever Darter
Most
said.
likely February.
But that's not the end of Risen entirely, because Dominant and Champs League are still going on. Right?
Please watch Champs League. I say this every week, but please watch RCL. It's so fun. They're good games.
It's such good
Wait, Divine's almost done, right? Let me look.
Divine's almost done. Yeah.
I think they got their
Watch
finals.
Divine, watch Champs League. Dominate's a good time as well, though it's a hard time for some people to watch. It's in the afternoon. But at least it's on Sunday afternoon, so most people are around. At least you should be. And if you're not, you should make time to watch it.
I definitely agree. But so, even though we're done, there's still a little more stuff going on. I also think Rampage is another week too.
Rampage done, I think.
Rampage is done. Just kidding. All right, so never mind. So just Divine Champs and Dominant League are still going on. So.
Well, no, I don't even think Divine is. It's just Oh no, Divine's probably still going on.
Divine
Either
has
way,
they have double them, so they have a little bit to go.
All right,
Hey,
so
Tyrell, double in.
Support my boys over in Divine. They're still kicking it.
so yes, we still got games. We still got a game tomorrow. It's gonna be Dominate Finals.
Yep.
Dominate is always a fun time to watch. Champ League is definitely a fun time to watch, along with Divine as well. But that is gonna do it for us. This is the last time for the year we will be saying thank you for stopping at Unstoppable, and we will see you guys next year, hopefully on a different elo. But
Don't
until
say
then,
like that.
until then, take care.